Welcome back to the relaunch of Straight Talk with Dr. V and Mr. P. How are you doing today, Mr. P?
I'm doing great. I'm blessed and highly favored, Dr. V. How are you?
I am swell.
Swell as well, Dr. V. I appreciate that.
It's always a wonderful thing to be above ground, huh?
It is, Dr. V. I am so glad to be back here with you.
It's been a minute.
Been a minute. Life has definitely threw us some curveballs.
Yes, but look, we made it.
Yeah, we did.
You know, God kept us covered through all the pandemic. We're still in a pandemic. However, we are here.
Yeah, I'm blessed and highly favored. I want to first, talk to the listeners, let them know what we've been. I know they're probably like, what happened?
Give them an update. Give them an update.
Okay, you want me to start? You going to start?
You go ahead and start.
Well, Dr. V, when was the last time we were together? It was a long time, right?
Oh my God, February of 2019.
No, it wasn't 2019 when we were
2019, yes.
2021 was the last time
No,
we were together.
when we were together, it was
Oh, you mean
2019.
physically together.
Yeah, physically doing the
Oh,
podcast.
But anyway, a lot has happened since then.
Yes.
A lot of life changes, a lot of, personal, professional
Yes,
things.
growth.
School.
Yes.
For me,
School for you.
I got jiggy with it, and I called myself Big Bad, took 2 classes at one time.
Oh my God.
2 classes.
So what are we going back to school for? Let the people
We're not
know.
going back to school. We in school for our PhD.
Right,
So,
that's what I'm
you see
talking
that Dr.
about.
V and Mr. P?
Look at him.
I don't know if I'm going to change. I kind of like Mr. P, so I'm going to say Mr. Dr. P. How about that?
Mr. Dr. P, really?
Dr. P. So,
Really?
For those of you out listening here, for our listeners, we appreciate you asking
Yes.
us about the show, when we're going to be back.
Yes.
I know it's been a long time coming, but when we came back, we decided to elevate. So we're going live and direct. We're launching a YouTube channel.
Yes.
So you can follow us.
Straight
on all
Talk
social media.
with Dr. V and Mr.
P. We're going straight to YouTube. We're going
Yeah.
on our regular platforms as well. So, check in with us, catch up with us, and see what's been going on. So,
Right.
Lot has been going on with me.
Okay.
What's been going on with you?
Well, let me see. Still, ministering, still teaching, just living life. That's what's been going on. But let me go back. Let me go back to thank all of those who have been listening while we have been in hiatus. Our numbers have increased for the UK and for Germany. Okay. Thank you all for supporting us, even though we haven't recorded not one podcast since 2021. Yeah. I thank you. Our listeners have increased also in France, Italy.
See who played in that France, right?
I don't know nothing about France, but thank you.
We got going on for the first time ever. We have a live audience.
Bam!
Shout out to our audience. Can y'all make some noise? Let them know.
Yeah.
I told you we was elevated. We came back strong.
Yeah. We came back. We came back.
We took a step back to take 2 steps forward. So.
Exactly. And we have a producer now. She's not here, but hi, Adrian, wherever you are. Right. She will be our producer for the show. So guess what? We're gonna also have an integrated podcast where we will be on live with YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram when we do the podcast. So then you're able to also interact with us. We're able to read your comments and also answer you as you're giving us questions. How about that?
You can see us drink too, or me at least. Dr. V got ice water.
Ice water is good for the soul.
Straight drinking with Mr. P.
I tell you, what else has been going on with you, Mr. P?
Shout out to our interns. We got 2 interns here.
We have 2 interns in place of our producer, Adrian. Shout out their names for us.
Shout out to our names.
Lexi.
All right, there we go.
Hi.
And they came in, they stepped up, they helped us out. They're doing a fabulous job. We appreciate
Excellent
them.
job.
Shout out to them. They're students, so
Yeah.
they're gonna go up and elevate and do bigger and better things. So we appreciate you
Yes.
guys being here. We appreciate
Yes.
everyone here coming to support us. And
These are our good friends, our
Yeah,
close
this is
friends,
family.
our loved ones.
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
family
It's
here.
family. It's our
Yes.
travel folks.
Yes,
We need the high
definitely.
seat. We get some stamps on our passports together.
That's right.
Don't
Hey,
get
what
some
do I call it?
Passport
Passport
pimping.
pimping. That's right.
Indeed. Y'all know it. We get some stamps on our passports.
That's right. That's
When we
right.
talk about traveling, what we're doing in life, these are the
that we're doing it with.
So I'm glad that
Right.
have them and have their support.
Exactly.
We got
exactly.
a lot to talk about that. We got a lot.
Whew, a lot to catch up on. I tell you, we have number 45 out of the office. That's what's honey.
Yeah.
Oof, child, please.
46 ain't no God. But anyway.
Look here, on me, you gonna have a fight. We're gonna have a fight. 46 is better than 45.
It's just a higher number, Dr.
You know, you can't please black people. You just can't please
number.
black people all the time. I tell you.
Dr. V.
What?
Is Ukraine about to be invaded by Russia or not, Dr. V?
But we're there to help, just in case Russia decides to do whatever. We are their ally, so we are there. I know it's something in there for us to step in.
Dr. V.
You know, yes, Mr. P.
You're a highly educated and intelligent.
Yes, Mr. P.
You have a load of common sense.
Not a load. What in the world is a load of common
you got
sense?
More than the average, Dr. V. You know good and well.
What?
The only reason we over there messing with them folks is because we got something going on that don't nobody know about over there.
You said with them folks.
That's the only reason.
I mean, of course, it's got to be something in it for us.
Because here's the thing. You heard the saying, mind the business that pays you.
Right.
Are we getting paid over there for some reason?
Yeah, we're going to get paid now.
For us to be
We're going to get paid.
We're minding the business that pays us.
Yeah.
So we probably got like a secret base. CIA probably got a base over there. We got some missiles somewhere.
Yeah,
over there.
and we got to protect our interests.
Exactly. So don't pretend like we over there for Ukraine.
Of course. We have to protect what's ours.
We don't give a damn about them Ukrainians. Anybody ever met
He
Ukraine?
is solely
Raise your
speaking
hand
for
if you've
himself.
met a Ukrainian before.
This is a disclaimer.
No, I'm just saying. Raise your hand. Anybody here, have you met a Ukrainian before?
Shamefully, yes.
Okay.
See.
So we got one person. And he's from Florida, so he don't count. He's from Florida. He don't count.
Hold on, he counts. He's with me.
No, maybe. Okay. I'm working with you. Don't be trying to protect your boo now.
I'll protect him. Anywho, let's move on.
Moving on. Okay.
Let's move on.
All right. So lots been going on. We've progressed a lot.
Yes.
We've done a lot.
Yes, we
We've
have.
been blessed.
Truly
We've been blessed.
blessed.
2021 was hard, but we've been blessed. I've
You
been
know,
blessed.
yes,
You've been
because
blessed.
both of us was involved in accidents.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and we are blessed.
We are blessed.
We are truly blessed.
Yeah,
and so, you know, God has kept us.
He kept us here for a reason.
He did.
Because he wanted straight talk with Dr.V and Mr. P to come back.
To continue. Correct.
He wasn't done with us yet, so
No, he
we had to
wasn't.
come here and do a big embedded in there. So we
Yes,
be blessed. So we're
definitely,
happy
definitely.
To be here, happy to be able to provide you some content. So let's get on before we got a juicy topic today. We got a lot of energy around it. Something that needs to be talked about. I know y'all been missing us. It's been a lot of flim flam and a lot of nonsense going on here. It's been a battle of the sexes. It's been a whole lot of going on.
Just too much.
Right. So
too
we're
much.
here to bring some content that you guys can learn from, grow, build upon. And
Right.
eat on.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
We're about to bring something to you.
Exactly.
But first, let's get some of this trending stuff. It's off the
Trending
wall.
topics. You ready?
What's the date? The 19th. Super Bowl was on about what? Day before
Last Sunday.
Last Sunday. Your team didn't make it.
No, my team didn't make it.
The team won.
Yes.
Halftime show. What do you think about the halftime show?
Let me tell you about this halftime show.
Crip.
Okay. The Crip Rock was
No,
the
I can't do
bomb.
it.
I can't do it. Don't even get me started. What I loved about it is that I wish it had happened in Atlanta the same way they did in California. We wanted the culture to be shown, the experience to be lived. And so we were robbed of that, and we had to sit back and watch West Coast do it the way it should have been done here in Atlanta. So,
who did halftime in Atlanta?
Big Boy did a snippet.
He did a snippet.
Right.
but he wasn't on the main stage.
No,
He was
he
outside.
He like
Right,
rolled
that's
through
it.
in
Yeah,
the
rolled
car
through.
and something, but it
Yeah.
I don't even
He was
remember
outside.
halftime. Who's the halftime?
Exactly.
You got Alan Levine.
Ah.
I thought it was Coldplay.
Room 5, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Room 5.
See?
Right. We got all the so deaf family here. We got all the.
We had
got
Ludacris here.
We got all these
Goody Mob.
Hip hop evolved around Atlanta. Yeah.
Exactly, and we didn't have that.
But
So
you know what? As Andre 3 Stack said a long time ago, the South got something to say.
yeah, we have something to say, but however, the West Coast was talking, and so the West Coast was saying, you know, with Dr. Dre, you had Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, because a lot of people want to know, well, why was Mary on stage? You forgot that Dre produced the Family Affair album.
Yeah,
So of course, with Aftermath, she had to be there, and Eminem, and then of course, you know, we got to talk about poor 50 Cent upside down.
No.
You know, on stage.
We're not going there, Dr. V. We're not going there, Dr. V.
Oh,
Hey,
you must.
you can't fat
what's up?
shame 50. You can't.
Huh?
Now,
What you call him, 50?
50. You can't fat shame 50.
I'm not fat shaming 50. He just shouldn't have been upside down.
That was the video.
Then so he need to have a better exit plan of getting from upside down to the floor. Come on now, y'all. No, come on now.
Y'all been on this whole movement of not body shaming.
And I'm not body shaming him. But you know what? His pocket's swole though. His pocket's swole.
50 doing it just
He walking around swole.
I'm just
I ain't
saying,
shaming. I need that bank account. That's what I need.
Don't act like you don't watch Power. Power is the bomb.
Oh, I watch Power.
You watch Tommy Show?
Oh, I love Tommy. I like that little white
You
boy.
like
That's
that
a black
Tommy show?
boy.
Hey,
That's a
Tommy-
black man.
Tommy's the ghost, but
You know he is.
Yeah, so I'm just
Yes,
saying,
he
what-
is. So I'm not shaming him. Just when you reach a certain age, stuff that we used to do in our 20s, we just can't do that no
Well,
more.
Mary got that same.
Yeah, Mary had to slow that down too. She was
love
a little
Mary,
slow with it.
but
She
I
was a
don't
little
even
slow
care
with that
if
little
Mary know
roll. She was a little slow with it.
No, she's Monet. I like it as Monet. I'm gonna call her Monet. She ain't married no more. I love Mary J. Blige, but now she Monet.
She Monet now
She Monet.
because of Power.
Yeah. I don't even see her as Mary. All I see is Monet.
But I'm gonna need her to take some more acting lessons on that. I need that to get that down a little bit more.
If Zeke, if y'all don't get rid of Zeke like this.
Zeke dead. You didn't watch
I know
that?
he dead.
No, he gone.
He got the whole show though. Zeke. Come on, man. If you ain't talking
Let's
about
go back to the halftime show.
I'm just
What did you
saying,
think of the
Monet.
halftime show?
It was cool. It was cool.
Okay.
It was cool. You know, a little nostalgia. A little nostalgia. I like the little piano.
What about Kendrick
I like the
Okay.
piano breakdown. He did
I love
I ain't
that.
mad at you. I like shout out. I like that.
But you know what? I think it would have been a wonderful tribute when they did California Love. If they could have shown Tupac's video and him rapping his part, I think that would have been phenomenal.
Well, Tupac's still alive and he ain't signed off on it.
No, you didn't say Tupac's still alive.
Tupac's still alive.
Are
So
you
is Biggie.
serious?
So is Biggie.
No, Biggie dead. Biggie too big to hide. Tupac, Biggie is too big.
So help me understand how Biggie dead, but Tupac is still
I
alive.
told you Biggie too big to hide.
Oh my God, he could have lost some weight by now.
Nah, how you gonna hide Biggie?
Easy.
Where you gonna put? Biggie was like 6'4", 375. What?
I don't know.
Tupac was little. Tupac was like
Tupac was
5'9",
little.
5'10", 160, 175.
Bless your heart. Bless your
You can
heart.
hide him behind that little the bar right there. You can't
I'm
see Tupac.
done.
You can't hide Biggie.
I'm done. So did you enjoy the halftime?
I enjoyed the halftime.
Okay, good.
But, you know, the NFL still, you know, they still got issues. You know, we still talking about the no
Equality.
Yeah, of course.
Where's the black coaches?
Yeah, you know, Flores
I tell you,
is
it took
running.
us a minute to get black quarterbacks. So it's gonna take a minute to get some black
But we've
head
had them.
coaches.
We had black head coaches.
How
Mike
many did
Tomlin?
we have?
No, we only got one. We've had.
Yeah, we
them,
only
but
have one now.
Definitely, we had enough, right? So
Right.
There's disparity in it. We know it. So the big basic argument is the Rooney Rule is not doing it enough anymore,
Right. Mhm.
Because at first it's pretty much they just had to tick a box.
Right.
And then, you know, Bill Belichick, I I don't think it was a mistake that he let it slip.
I think it was a
It
mistake.
wasn't a mistake.
You don't think it was a mistake?
Was it a mistake that what's his name? Nelly released that sex tape? Is that a
Oh,
mistake?
we ain't gonna talk about that. Now he should never ever do a sex tape. And you walking around here like Pee Wee Herman.
Was that a
Why would you do that? Baby, hide that sex tape, baby. Don't ever let nobody see that no more,
Dr.
sugar.
V, I thought we wasn't body shaming, Dr. V.
That ain't body shaming. That's
Drop down and get your sparrow on.
exactly.
That man can't control
That is, baby. That's all you got. Zip it up and go on out the door. That's what that is.
Then you messed up. We might need to get some sponsors from.
Not from him. Oh, that ain't got nothing to do with our money.
No, I'm
He
saying.
can still sponsor us.
talking about
Nelly,
Nelly.
you
I'm
can
talking
still
about-
sponsor
I'm talking
us.
about,
Do you still carry them apple bottom jeans?
Was it like, don't you see all them ED
What do you
commercials
do?
and stuff? ED, them erectile dysfunction commercials? We can get one of them
I'm
sponsors.
done.
I'm just saying, Dr. V. We're not body shaming in 2022, Dr. V. That's all.
That ain't got nothing to do with body shaming.
That man
That's got to do
has
everything
work
with pleasure.
With what God gave him, and God gave him.
No, God didn't get Lord Jesus.
Okay. Be using his name today.
I pray that he didn't just leave him like that.
Wow, Dr. V, wow.
I pray that
Well,
he
we know where
didn't.
you stand on this issue.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But baby, you better make me holler or something. Don't worry about him. Don't worry about him.
Why you looking nervous, Frank?
Don't worry about him. He has no need.
He got a fan that says, man, you're a little hot. You're a little hot on the collar.
Don't worry about him. He good. He good. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that over there.
I'm like them African.
Okay. Because Nelly really should have let that alone.
He said it was an accident.
That wasn't no accident.
I don't
He thought
know.
that somebody, but you know, when you have money, these girls don't care.
Well, it ain't about her, Dr. V. It's about him because, look, he's an iPhone user. I blame it on iPhone. So, you should have sued Apple.
That's your story.
They put everything
That's your
aside.
story. You sticking
You
with
get
it.
you a droid, you ain't got to worry about it. You ain't see no droid people talking about I accidentally uploaded something to Instagram. Nope. I bet you everybody had a sex tape.
iPhone. Okay.
So,
All
I'm just
right.
saying.
But let's also talk about, since we just talked about the black coaches, let's talk about, I want to represent, I forgot her name. Can someone look that name up really quick for me? She is the assistant coach, basketball coach for
TSU?
Texas A&M.
Oh, yeah.
Please leave her alone. Let her dress like she wants to dress. That has no bearings on how the team plays.
No, she looked good to me. She had on
I-
some little pink.
Okay?
leather
Her
pants
body
and
was
sweat.
banging.
Yeah.
Like, shoot, I need that spray painted all on. Like, there we go.
I mean, you know, she's
Yeah.
a good house.
Yeah, she's a brick house.
Yeah, shout out to Tennessee State. What is it?
Texas
A&M.
A&M. Lord Jesus, this man done
Dang,
called
Tex-
some
dang,
wrong stuff.
Georgia. Shout out to UGA. Go Dogs. We are the national champions. Go Dogs. Shout
Yeah,
out
go Dogs.
to
Yes.
UGA.
UGA did their thing. Finally brought what Falcons will never be able to
Shout
do.
out SEC. If you ain't in the SEC, you ain't really playing football.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So I think we talking enough about the NFL, but before we go, move on. Jackson State, Deion Sanders,
Deion Sanders.
changing the game. He's moving the direction of football and recruiting.
Yeah.
He's getting these number one recruits. From
Yes,
Jackson
he
State.
is.
And a lot of people are giving him flack because he pulled out of the Heritage Classic, which is a football game between Jackson State and TSU. But it's a business.
It's a business, and you got to do what business
Yeah,
does.
because
You
I
got
would
to make
too.
the best decision for your school.
And they're making money, right?
Exactly.
He pulled out because I think in the last 20 years of they playing in the Heritage Classic, they've made $6 million in the last 20 years.
What?
they're switching over and they're gonna play Alabama A&M and play Birmingham, and they're gonna make $6 million in 2 years.
See, hello.
So, why you hating?
You can't hate.
You can't hate.
You can't hate. He's getting ready to change the game for HBCUs.
Yeah, Jackson State needs
You
some
know?
money.
Yes.
Shout out to Southern University.
Yes, Southern University, baby.
Your alma mater.
Jaguars.
My daughter called Jackson State J Stank. Shout out to J Stank.
Oh Lord.
I'm
But
just saying.
go ahead. But you know what we used to do in HBC, you would play these SEC games and to get money to play like UGA, to play Vanderbilt, and our boys would be killed.
Yeah,
we would be
getting
humiliated on national
They're
TV.
getting slaughtered. They're getting tore up.
Exactly.
And they on the school only making maybe $900,
And that's it. That's it.
Get an injury or something
That's
like that.
it.
So,
So shout out to Dion.
It's
Thank
amazing.
you so much. I know you at Jackson State. I wish you was at Southern, but however, thank you.
shout out to Jackson State.
Yeah, what you got on the list?
We got a lot. So
I tell you, I let Mr. P handle all of this.
Let's come a little closer to home, Black Wall Street here in Georgia.
Okay.
And was it Stonecrest? Is that what
Yes,
y'all
it's
got?
Stonecrest.
Stonecrest, Georgia. Y'all
Yes.
still got a black mayor? Clear your throat. Clear your throat before you talk about it.
Well, we
Well.
don't. Him going to jail.
Oh, no.
Him going to jail.
No.
He stole PPP money,
No, Dr.V, no.
paying for his house and fictitious businesses that never opened in the city of Stonecrest, and so he gonna be gone.
You got caught up with the PPP loan?
Yeah.
Did you get some money?
No.
Oh.
What the world?
Y'all got some money from PPP?
I got some money.
You got some money? Oh, shout out. PPP loan money.
Big ups, big ups.
Big up, I ain't getting nothing.
I didn't get anything.
I didn't get nothing.
Nothing.
I ain't getting not a dollar,
But-
not a dime, not a 50.
Right. But see what I'm mad a little bit, and I think that our guest Sabrina can speak more about Larry, and because he's from Macon.
Oh.
Now this is what excited me when he first ran, that he said that he was going to make Stonecrest like Dunwoody, Perimeter Mall, give him time, and nothing came to fruition. The sports complex never opened. The hotels never opened. It was like a reverse of fortune because everything started closing. And so it was like, what's going on? And then when the pandemic hit, bam, you know? And instead of you having these companies stay open and give them the money, you taking it and giving it to companies who have yet to open business in the city of Stonecrest. You know, so shout out to Mr. Allen, who is the founder of the Black Wall Street.
Okay.
So shout out to him,
Shout
and
out
he's
Black Wall Street.
yes,
If you're
shout
ever
out
in
to
town,
him.
Stonecrest, Georgia's east of Atlanta.
Right,
Come on
east
out
of
here,
Atlanta.
Spend the money, support Black Wall Street.
Right.
A lot of great businesses
Right.
out there. So,
Exactly. Now, the issue that we're having at the Black Wall Street is that management, and there's the ceiling is leaking. People said that they were promised in their contract that they would get a certain percentage, and that did not happen. And so what I have the issue with right now, I have two issues with that.
Okay.
Number one, management needs to jump on this very quick. It's been raining, so it's not like it just started raining overnight.
Well,
You knew that there was a leak, so why didn't you jump on this? Because here you have people that are renting rental space, and their inventory is being flooded.
well, you have to look at it from two
Help me.
Two perspectives. It's a new business. It's a new business model.
Uh-huh.
So those are going to be growing pains.
Right, growing
The
pains.
location is an old Target that's sat empty for what, 10, 12 years?
For a long time.
Long time. So there's issues with the building, but I'm sure there's some cost benefit analysis for they thought they could make it patchwork.
Right.
Or make it work. So that's
Right.
part of the growing pain. So
Right.
you expect that. give them a little grace for a little bit longer.
A little bit longer, right?
But again, it's based on the foot traffic. You've got to kind of build it organically. There's a lot of people still never heard about it.
Right,
So
definitely.
people still don't know about it.
Exactly.
So as you build momentum and you allow that stuff to happen, then it will eventually come. But,
Exactly.
So I'm just saying. give
But
them a
management needs to do better, because management shouldn't tell you if you don't like it, get your stuff and go. No, that's not
It's
what
still
we're
Black
doing.
Wall Street. If somebody came in your house talking crap, what'd you say?
This different though. You are trying to promote. You're trying to create revenue. So why would management tell you if you don't like it, you can leave? All right, Mr. P, come on,
No. If somebody come in your house
come my house.
and they say, why you got that right there? What you gonna say? You looking too hard? Get the step. What Martin said.
No, I'm not gonna tell you that. Martin was a sitcom, right?
No, based on reality.
Martin was a sitcom,
Based on
okay?
real life. You know
But
how
no,
good it
you
feel to put
just
somebody
don't
at your
do
house?
that. That's not how you
You know
conduct
how good
business.
it feel to put somebody at your house? Why you got your own house?
Let me tell y'all,
Why you
America,
get your own house, Dr.
don't do that.
Why you get your own house,
America,
Dr. V?
don't do that.
Why you get your own house?
Huh?
Why did you get your own house?
I don't know. Look, America, don't do that.
What you want to do.
But
If they don't,
still, no. It's but management.
They
That's
don't
but
like it.
Mr. Allen didn't tell them to get their stuff and leave. The management did. You're gonna cost
you don't
this
think
man
they-
money.
you don't think
He
they
has
talking-
invested for these
you don't
black
think they talking
businesses
Mr.
to come
Allen?
into this market.
You don't think Mr. Allen know?
I doubt it.
That was that nagging cousin who came in there talking about why the wild spray. I wouldn't do that if I was you.
Anywho,
Put him out. Get this step.
anywho,
It's Black Wall Street. Get this step.
let
If you
me.
don't like it, go on somewhere
You
else.
know, no, don't do that, y'all.
Yes, you do.
Let's split our black dollars.
No,
but-
how about this? Dr. V?
What?
You ain't got to leave. You ain't got to go home. But you got to get the hell up out. Moving on, Dr. V. Moving on, Dr. V.
You see? Y'all see what I gotta do? Lord, I'm gonna play for him. Y'all help me, okay? Father God, in the name of Jesus.
You know,
Go ahead.
the teacher scandal happened back in 2015, 2016. They trying to get people fed time now.
Now, see, they need to be gone home. They need to be let go.
Like, you got that much time to try to get these people to do fed?
You know, I'm sorry. I know a lot of y'all gonna be mad with me. But when the system is designed and set up that you cannot receive funding unless your children are achieving, that sounds a little backwards.
It is Dr.
Wouldn't
V.
you give more funding to underserving children?
Here's the thing, Dr. V.
I'm just
I
helping
read an
out
article
here.
that recently.
I would have been there with him eating that pizza, girl. Put that C right there.
Because Dr. V, you essentially have told the school that I want you to solve all the social problems that these kids have,
Mm-hmm.
as well as get them to perform.
Yeah.
And if
Crazy.
you don't, then you're fired.
Right, and you get no funding. And so your kids walking around with books without a cover, a front or a back, missing pages.
Look, if I come to class and I'm hungry, I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care about that test. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
C.
Exactly. Exactly. But I like to put some of this responsibility on the parents. It's not
True.
always the
It's right
teachers.
there.
I'm getting tired of this because the parents are the first ones all over the TV.
Yeah.
Well, he said he came home and they was changing the answers. Well, did you sit down with Jermaine and help him? Did you sit down with Tamalita and help her with her work? Did everything have to fall on Miss Reed?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Parental involvement is probably the
We got some
number one
issues.
contributing factor.
We got
here.
some problems.
I agree, Dr. V. You can't put it on the schools
No.
to correct the stuff that the parents can do.
Parents need to wake up and get your kids together and stop blaming the school systems.
Right. You give me a defective product and you want me to give you something else. No.
Exactly.
Give me a whole product, a whole student who can be present.
Exactly.
I
But
can't blame the student.
it's another way that school systems can kind of break up the monotony is to take the teachers who are in these high performing schools and bust them over to some of these underperforming schools and let's
I
see
don't
how
think
well
it's
they
teachers,
do.
Dr. V. Right. You agree. I agree. I think you'll get the same results. I don't think teachers is a big factor. Again, they're an integral part of what happens.
Exactly.
But they are not I guess the most important factor. The most important factor is parental involvement.
Exactly.
Parental.
Exactly. So everybody's thinking these teachers are the bomb. Let's take them from over here and put them over there.
You send the kids to KIP. What KIP's supposed to be so great? You send them to KIP. I swear, if they come in there and they don't have the parental support in there, they're gonna fail. They're gonna be
Exactly.
It's more socio-economic issue. So.
Social and economical issue.
That's what my dissertation is gonna be on. So
okay.
I'm gonna talk about that later.
But you know, your wife and my brother over there used to laugh at me because, you know, when I still work at this particular school, I can't say the name of the school because I would bring them breakfast and lunch. And your wife and my brother over there used to tell me to go get a big thing of oatmeal.
Them kids don't want no oatmeal. They're still kids.
I said go to Sam's Club.
They're hungry, but they're still kids.
I didn't say go to Chick-fil-A. I said go to Sam's Club so that you can get a box of sauces, biscuits.
They're kids at the same time, even though they're
You
hungry.
don't have to go to Chick-fil-A and get chicken sandwiches every morning.
Because I was buying chicken sandwiches and I was buying hash brown for my students. Subway, I would, you know, do it up for them.
Yeah.
Sam's Club does the same thing.
You know what? God bless you too.
Same thing. Sauces,
Some of us,
biscuits.
some people are called to teach, and some people called to stay in corporate America. We'll leave it at that.
No pun intended, Jay.
Teaching is a calling.
Right.
They can't call you. You got to be called.
I got my sauces,
So
biscuits.
Give them a sermon.
Right.
Just like you got to be called to preach the word. You can't just go to it. You got to be called.
You need to be
Amen.
called. That's right.
You got to be called.
I had to be called. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you. That's the first thing you got to write all night long.
Now look, Dr. V. Watch that. All right. Watch that, Dr. V.
Oh my God. Who's speaking in tongues? All right.
Nobody speaking in tongues. What I heard was.
Oh my God. What's next on the agenda?
Well,
Mr. P?
one more thing before we get into this topic, because I
Okay.
really want to devote a lot of time and attention to this topic.
Right.
I got to give a shout out to it's twofold. It's two parts to this coin, right? For the young folks. I ain't say everybody. A lot of single women are putting Sierra's prayer on their Instagram, hoping to get a Russell Wilson. Russell's a great dad, great man, great football player. So these women, no, I'm sorry, I ain't gonna say these women. Let me bring it back a little bit. Some people think just saying this prayer is gonna bring them a Russell Wilson.
Can somebody please send me the prayer?
It's a prayer. And the folks, y'all know it. Y'all seen it. We got some young folks in here. They seen that Sierra's prayer.
Y'all seen the prayer?
Yeah.
Have y'all seen the prayer?
It's a Sierra's prayer. It's a song. Y'all too
You know,
old.
I don't have
It's a old.
social media, so I ain't seen nothing.
But on the flip side, my boy Future, on Valentine's Day, dropped a new single with Kevin Samuel.
Oh Lord, you done said the wrong
With
name.
Kevin Samuel and Future, and he dropped a single called The Worst Day Ever. Shout out to Future. Shout out to
No, don't
Sierra.
call him his
Shout out
name.
to-
Do not call his name. Do not
What?
give him
That was
no
brilliant. That was
no
brilliant, Dr. V.
advertisement. We'll leave it
Kevin
with Sierra
Samuel,
and Future.
that was
See,
brilliant.
don't give him no.
I'm not giving him nothing, but that was brilliant, Dr. V. You got to applaud. You got to applaud. That was brilliant. He
Will
dropped it on
not.
Valentine's Day. I don't remember the lyrics, but something about he got too many, he can't see them all, something like that.
And you gonna applaud that?
No, I'm just saying. I don't know the lyrics. I'm just saying that was brilliant marketing, Dr. V.
He
Because-
got too many. No, listen to what you
I'm
applauding.
listening. I'm
He
listening.
got too many, so you want to, and he don't know what to do. What was it?
He's an
He
African.
can't see them all on one day.
He's an African.
He what?
Feast his eyes on one at a time.
Yeah. He said he don't have enough time to see them all, so he had to spread it out. So he said Valentine's Day is the worst day ever for him because they all want to see him on that day. But he got too many, he can't see them all in one day.
I agree.
That's stupid as hell.
That was brilliant.
First of all, you got too many kids. Let's get that straight. So you don't need to be seeing and nobody and making no more kids.
Okay, Dr. V. Did he make them kids by himself?
I don't give a damn.
Let me drop my pencil.
This boy. Let me tell you, future baby. If you listening, if you ever listen to anything Dr. V says, stop. Don't, get you one person. All these having these kids are wrap it up. Oh, vasectomy. Isn't that what it called?
Why he got one when he can get 14, 15?
But he keep having kids, he ain't wrapping it up, so you giving somebody something.
Dr. V.
What?
Baby mama 1, I get her a break. Even baby mama 2, maybe 3.
Okay.
But baby mama 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Come on now.
See, that's the problem.
Come on now, Dr. V.
That's the problem. And do you think he's been a father to all these children?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, it does not.
Because somebody out there fatherless. Somebody out there ain't getting it. They not getting the structure that they need from a father figure.
So you mean to tell me, if you meet somebody, Frank, how many baby mamas you got?
Wait.
Hold on. Let me get this straight right now. Let me get it straight right now.
That wasn't right.
My man is divorced, and all of his came from marriage. Okay, so
it.
nothing outside of marriage. Let's get that straight.
I understand that, Dr. V, but if you met, we're going to switch his name up. If you met
Thank you.
future Frank, 5 baby mamas, do you think there's a strong likelihood that he's going to wife you, or you going to become baby mama?
First of all, I wouldn't be in that relationship.
I'm just saying.
No, I just tell you, I won't be in that relationship.
You wouldn't be in there.
No.
So there would be no baby mama number 6,
Heck no.
7, 8, 9, 10.
No, because you're going to look back at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 baby mamas, and you're going to see that he ain't being in their lives. So why would I get in a predicament? And then, first of all, these women are trying to have children to have a come up. Let's make that clear, that they're seeking for some monies. They're seeking for the spotlight. Okay? Future ain't got that much money.
Oh, he rich.
He ain't that much rich.
He rich.
Tell me what he had. What has he sponsored?
He got too many women, he can't see them on one day. That's what he got to do. So,
Groupies.
well, I ain't say y'all was groupies, so direct all your energy, baby mamas, future baby mamas, to
Straight talk.
Straight Talk Dr. V.
What is it?
Straight-
Make sure
Straight
I
Talk
get the email.
Dr. V and Mr. P at gmail.com.
Yeah. Attention, Dr. V.
But he got it.
I'm going to get you straight, baby, because I'm going to send you over to Spiritual Talk with Dr. V.
He got a baby with Sierra, so I'm just saying.
And I think she regretted. I really do.
I don't think so.
Because they said that, her and Russell left the party when Future showed up at the Super Bowl party. They left.
Yeah, because they didn't want the drama. They didn't want the attention. But here's the thing, Dr. V.
They don't hold weight with it.
Here's the thing, Dr. V.
Okay, go ahead.
She thought she was different. Then baby mama, what baby mama is she, 4, 5, or 6?
Now, we were told the background story about that he kept them all in check. You remember?
It
That
doesn't
we heard the
matter
story.
how much they was there.
Yeah,
You
and
could
post
have Googled. Now, I can't Google Frank and see how many baby mamas he got. But
What?
I
Keep
can
my man in this. Keep my man out this convo. Lord Jesus, he ain't gonna never come back to another podcast again. I'm trying to bring him into the circle. I'm trying to run my damn man out.
I'm just using it as an example, Dr. V. I'm just saying, the regular guy, the regular Joe Simone, he can lie to you. He can tell you, no, I ain't got but one baby mama. You can't find that out.
Yes, you can.
But Future,
It's a form called Form E down at the department. The police department is called Form E. See, I'm background. I work in HR. You go down there and you fill that Form E out. and run that background, and it'll come back with everything you need to know. You know how I know?
I ain't gonna ask you like
Please don't share how you know.
How you know that?
Woo. And baby, you can find anybody for $59.99. Cause you remember I had a guy. Remember this one guy? I think I told y'all. He said he had a house on the golf course.
You ain't that form on Dr.V? You had that form on?
Woo, yeah, I ran that for him. $59.99, baby. The best money I ever spent.
$59.99.
$59.99.
Run it back. See what you gonna get. Okay, Dr.V.
All right then.
Well, all right. What you do? Okay.
Oh, R. Kelly. Let's look. Let me tell you. R. Kelly.
He guilty. What he do?
He now has fired his team and has hired Bill Cosby team.
Oh, that's a smart move, Dr.V.
Pretty much.
Look here,
smart.
that is smart. Not smart. Not smart. Let me tell you.
Bill Cosby just two-stepped out.
You gonna leave my Bill Cosby alone.
Yeah, because he's not guilty.
Oh,
Thank you.
I didn't say that, y'all. So I ain't gonna throw up.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Whole nother podcast. But I just think that right now that R. Kelly just needs to go ahead and just stay on in there the rest of his life. And
Why?
I done hurt somebody's feelings over here, Mr.
I
Pitt.
know.
What?
I wonder why. Why should R. Kelly just go and spend the rest of his life in jail?
Cause he did what he did to minors.
They got proof.
Ooh, this him. He got proof. I think all of the witnesses that they called were the proof.
They got proof against Bill Cosby to find out the witnesses were.
Well, you know what? They were old. They were old enough. Don't go there. Don't go there.
They can recall in great detail
And I'm
50
not
years
in
ago
that
Exactly.
what happened. I find
What's the
that
next thing on the list?
I'm
We
not
had
in
something
that.
else that we wanted to talk about. But yeah, he needs to go.
Okay. We gotta talk about that. Did we talk about Trump yet?
You
Well,
can
I'm
talk
not
about
Trump.
You can talk
Shout out to Trump tax team.
You mean the former Trump tax team? Because
Shout
they're
out.
fired.
They got out. While getting out was good. Shout out to the former tax team. I ain't mad at you. When the
Baby.
ship- When the music was playing, like on the Titanic, the music was playing. Time to abandon shit. Shout
Stay
out
out.
to the tax team. I ain't mad
As
at
my friend can say, it's a wrap.
I ain't seen
It's a wrap.
Hey, I'm like, nah, shout out. You say you gonna do what? Nah. I'm finna,
Baby, they bounced quick.
That's like,
Quicker than a bounce chick.
that's-
It was out of there.
That's what Trey on Boys in the Hood. Pull over. Pull over, let me out.
They wanted off this ride.
Pull over, though, boy, let me out.
They got out
and
quick.
get out.
Get out. That's
That's
right.
Pull over.
They
Let
saw.
me out.
They see what's coming.
Let me out.
Let me out, because they know they were getting ready to be brought down too.
Well, it's some ethical and moral issue. I mean, I'm like,
Yeah, all day long.
yeah, there's ethics. There are some people still have ethics. Some people still have morals.
Right.
And it's a bad business decision because at some point you are asking me to lie for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're asking me to lie for you. There's ethics that they have to adhere
Right.
to. You know, and they knew because they know where the bodies are buried.
Right.
They know that you've been undervaluing your assets.
Exactly.
Or you've been overvaluing them.
To get loans,
loans and then
and
when it's
undervalue
taxes,
for
for
taxes. You go to
So-
jail for tax evasion.
Right. Yeah, it can't be worth $1 billion when you want a loan and then when trying to pay taxes.
How about you
it's
only worth $10?
Worth $1. No, come on. Come on. I can't
Yeah.
get away with that.
Neither can
You get away with
I.
that?
I wish I could.
No, so I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah, he going real
So,
quick.
Shout out to the tax team. Smart move.
Yeah, and then do you remember Whoopi Goldberg
Oh, yeah.
was suspended for 2 weeks, speaking on behalf of the Jews and the comments that she made. I want to get not our opinion. I want to get the our audience opinion. And Jay with his hand up
You know
first.
he
Lord
has an
Jesus, go ahead, Jay.
First, that was foolishness and effery. I'm not gonna say the whole word. Here's why. And I am still learning. I mean, we as African Americans, have our own. We have our own issues with where we were stolen from, as our ancestors were stolen from, and we want people to know about our legacies. We're trying to find out about our own legacies.
Right.
I am still in the process of learning about Jewish people. I didn't even know until about 2 years ago that Jewish people were a race. I thought being Jewish was a religion.
Right.
And then I had a friend of mine correct me to say, no, people who are Jewish, they are a race of people. And just like Whoopi Goldberg said, if I'm with you and you're a Jewish person and I'm an African American person and the KKK rolls by, they're gonna bypass the Jewish person because they are white.
Right.
They're not gonna bypass me. They're gonna drag my ass somewhere else. Excuse my
Right.
French. So I don't agree with her being suspended in that aspect. I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I am with her because ignorance can be bliss, and not ignorance of maliciousness, where I'm just ignorant to be ignorant and not wanting to understand more. I think she did a great job with bringing someone on and understanding what the Jewish race was about and doing more research on Auschwitz and how Hitler punished all of these people and killed all these people and put them in prison camps and so forth. So I understand even more so now. But again, I think everybody has to understand and educate themselves on the plight of the Jewish people.
Right. Okay.
So
I agree.
I'm going to say that, but again, as I said, I was ignorant somewhat to the fact that Jewish people were a race. I did not know that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I do. Now I can understand a little bit more.
Okay.
But being suspended or being part of cancel culture, I don't necessarily agree with that.
Yeah.
That's
I really
good.
don't.
Yeah, the pendulum has swung so far in one direction that you can't make a mistake.
So
It's unintentional. You know what I mean? It's political correctness has gone way
It has.
this way. And
It has.
hopefully at some point it's going to come back to the middle. But right now it's heightened and we can't say nothing. You wanted to say something?
And to further elaborate, I like where you went with that. So I would say trying to equate the same, I guess, theology is saying all of us look alike. I can discriminate based on you being AME, you could be in Jehovah's Witness.
Pentecostal.
At the end of the day, for us as African Americans, that's very hard to do and it's not going to be done. And it sort of, to me, takes away the sensitivity of what we're saying when it comes to race and racism and what was done to the African American or indigenous. I mean, that's a whole other story of people based on what we look like versus a religion. So she had a point. You may not like the point, but was the point valid? Very
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because it wasn't, oh, you AME, you Baptist, you Catholic. No, our plight was what we look like.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So she had a point. You may not like it, but research your truth.
Right. And
Right.
it was a conversation.
It was a conversation
Yeah.
we had.
It was a conversation that you were having.
Right.
That's where you learn. That's where you grow. That's where you develop. So it's like, do you want us to have the conversation or you don't?
Right. Definitely.
We want to have the conversation. We want to, find the common ground in it. But if you're not allowed to make the mistakes behind it, and it wasn't like she used an offensive term.
No, she didn't.
No, she just framed her position and how she saw it differently, and
Absolutely.
because of that, it's like, come on,
Yes.
let's have the conversation.
Right.
Let's have the room to do that, and then we all can grow and become
Right.
better from it.
Definitely.
But
Right.
again, The pendulum's over here. Hopefully it'll come back.
Hopefully
more to the
it will
center.
come over into a balance.
So we'll do
Yeah.
that. So.
I think the next thing we want to discuss is the issue that happened in New Jersey with two teens, a black teen and a white teen. I was so upset when I saw this. I was almost in tears. Where the white boy and a black boy were in a mall in New Jersey. The white boy was all up in the black boy's face, and the black boy wasn't trying to be confrontational. You said, "Get your hand out of my face." And so the push came from the white boy 1st. So the black boy begins to fight. Okay, so the New Jersey police was called. They come, and of course the white boy now is on top of the black boy. So the black boy wasn't even on top. It was the white boy. They came, broke them up, set the white boy nicely down on the sofa, and handcuffed, put their knees in the black boy's back, and arrested him, put him in handcuffs.
That's pretty much what's been happening for the last 2 years. That's the whole point of George Floyd. That's the whole point of.
But when will
Trayvon
this
Martin,
thing
all that.
stop?
Well, because it's the same thing over and over again. It's the response. It's not people gonna meet. There's gonna be conflict. There's gonna be conflict between people of different races, ethnicities,
Right.
and all that. It's the police response. So instead of coming there as a neutral party and trying to figure out what's happening, you're going
Right.
in there with the prejudice or the preconceived notion that this particular group of people is involved, therefore they are the aggressor or they are the
Right.
people who are in the wrong.
But even with the black boy on the ground and the white boy on top of him, really?
Right, it doesn't matter. Their response
This
is what the
is
response is.
crazy. It's
So-
crazy. It's
But then
Even
you
though
didn't
there's-
approach the situation. These were teenagers.
Yeah,
Right.
teams fight all the
So
time.
it's like the way that they went to manage the situation where they didn't see it as kids,
Yeah.
and that was unfair.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. So the black kid pushed his hand out of his face first because he was doing the pointing. The white kid was doing the pointing. The black kid pushed his hand, and then after the hand push, then the white kid pushed him, and they started scuffling. And
Right.
it looked kind of fair back and forth. But the white boy did get a couple of body slams in there. But by the time the police came, the white kid was on top. And when they separated them, they did the little seat him nicely, pat him on the knee, and had him the black kid face down, already putting the zip ties on him, doing the George Floyd on
Yeah.
and even the white boy kept going to the officer like this, like he was waiting for the handcuffs.
He was standing up, but my thing is, it's like, people need to not always see the situation as, like you said, looking at the color of our skin and automatically saying that's the bad person. And that's where it was like, these are kids. You can do the parental, take that parental role and just talk to them.
Right.
Separate them, talk to them, but they can both be seated on the couch.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the policing. The police.
It's ridiculous.
Police.
And I
Right.
think that,
The way they're
my,
policed.
not for Dr. V and Mr. P, but my opinion is they need to be fired. Period. Not suspended, they need to be fired.
Yeah.
So people can start to think about how they react to situations.
Because there's no diversity training that's going to get it out of your head. That's a personal decision that you make.
Right.
To be
That's
accountability.
a personal decision that you make. When you approach something, you have already assessed based on your own prejudice and your preconceived notions that this is the aggressor and this has to be a victim.
But let's
Right.
back up. Let's back up. First and foremost, don't put your hands on nobody.
Yeah.
That's for the kids.
Yeah.
You don't put your hands on anybody. And if there is some type of altercation, then it is what it is. Both of them should have been arrested. This would not have been a story.
Or what happened to kids and then you call the kids parents?
I
That's
understand
old
that.
school.
I don't have children, but as I see it, if I'm walking up on the situation, I'm in the mall with my little bag coming from JW or whatever else store is open. I don't know if JW is still open at this point. Regardless, if I'm shopping in the mall and you are disturbing the peace, both of y'all need to go. It doesn't matter who started what. You both need to go, then call mommy and daddy after we have you jacked up in the back.
Right. Yeah.
But if you are disturbing the peace,
Escorted out.
you put your hands on me, I put my hands on you. Yes, the security, popo, whomever
Right.
comes in, swoops everybody up,
Everybody.
escorts you all out,
I get the everybody.
makes the calm restored. Then we deal with that in the background. But first and foremost, we deal with parenting. You don't put your hands on nobody. And I understand that if somebody is in your face and you're saying get out of my face and you're not gonna, back up, yes, you have to defend yourself. However, you also have to deal with the consequences.
Keep in mind he was defending his friend.
And
Right.
I'm with that.
Definitely.
I'm with
he was
it.
the black kid was standing up for his friend.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
However, there are still consequences
There's
for
consequences.
that.
Right.
When you are in a
Absolutely,
public
but
place.
again, it's the issue is the policing.
Go ahead,
Let's
Bree.
Very, my
The
point.
policing.
My
It's the
point is policing. And
Yeah,
at some
that too.
point, we have to stop expecting this neutral piece that does not exist if you are not familiar with diversity. If your only image of me is what you see, and you don't know me, you don't know this community, you don't have a person that you would say, hey, that's my friend, that's my person I serve with, that's the person I played on the team with, then it's impossible for me to come and service your community in peace if I'm not familiar with your ethnicity or your being, period. You're going to come with the ideal or the ideology of who that person is, period.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's an assumption.
Interesting. It is
Always.
an assumption.
It will always.
You know, one thing that becomes really interesting for me is that it isn't always the color of the officer. When you think about policing, it's a part of the culture
Yeah.
that certain people are defined as not as good,
Yeah.
bad. You need to protect and you need to defend. If it's black, you need to patrol and control. When it's different, then you need to protect and defend. Just something to think about.
It is. It's the
Now
culture.
you go to Atlanta, right here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You go to Atlanta, it could be an African American cop. You gonna get the similar treatment.
It is. It's the policing. It's all about that. The culture policing had to change.
One last thing. And as a further example, because I just saw the video today, I found it very interesting, and I don't know how many of you all saw the video of, because you couldn't see the attire of the gentleman coming down the stairs where the officer got stabbed 6 times. First of all, I'm believing as an African American with 4 black sons, African American sons, that my son wouldn't be able to make it down the steps with a knife to attack a white officer 4 times before you tasered him or shot him.
Right.
But you still reprimanded and detained this white gentleman without tasering him,
Nothing.
without
Yep.
suffocating him, and he actually assaulted an officer that was here to bring peace.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, if you don't look at that as a disparity of what it is,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
again, you're not looking at reality.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. So,
Definitely.
For me, it's always been about policing. From the I grew up in the project. I grew up from with red dots. And I was having a conversation earlier with Frank. You could be literally standing here, me and Frank, in the Bankhead courts, having a conversation. The red dots have had the authority to roll up on you without cause, slam you to the ground,
Check you.
do all that. No probable cause, because you live in the projects.
Yes, right.
I live here. What I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to not speak to people. I can't congregate. So, but they had the authority, and that was it. And then here's the thing. It's funny. At some point, look, if I see the red dogs coming, I'm finna book. I'm finna run. I'm
Right.
finna not stay here, let y'all slam me to the ground and abuse me.
Guilty or
Right.
not.
Right.
Guilty or
I'm
not.
like, I'm supposed to stand here and wait for the ass whooping? No, you gonna have to work for the ass whooping. You got to work. I'm supposed to stand here and let you whoop my ass? No. If you catch me, you get to whoop my ass. If you don't catch me, oh well.
Oh well.
Right.
That's
So
right.
why are you running? Because I don't whoop my
You're
ass.
chasing me.
Exactly.
Right. Why you chasing
I want
me?
to live.
Right. Why you chasing me?
Right.
Right.
Definitely.
Same thing. Just has it's been cyclical since then. So
Right.
A lot of work left to be.
A lot
done.
of work left
A lot
to
of
be
stuff
done.
left to be
Yes,
done, so.
yes. What's next on the list?
It's
Wendy
time to
Williams,
get
get
started.
well soon. We need you back. What's
Do
next?
we really?
Oh Lord, this man said, "Do we
Anything, let's
really?"
move it on. Let's get
I
into
was
this
trying to
topic.
live on a lighter
Let's-
note.
let's
Let's
get
leave
into
on a
this
lighter
topic.
note.
Shade,
I ain't throwing no shade.
shade, all day.
Have y'all really missed Wendy Williams?
Yes.
Why you got Tasha TK? What's her name? Who just got
She
sued?
just got
by,
sued
Right. She
by
really
Cardi
got-
B.
She got sued by Cardi
You
B.
got to be careful.
Academics-
That's why we gonna start saying
Academics doing it for the
alleged,
men.
allegedly.
I ain't talking about nobody. I don't know nobody's personal business. But
Stop
my
it.
own.
Stop
She got
it.
sued and lost.
Yeah, she lost.
Yes, she
Millions
lost
of
it
dollars.
big time.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars.
Yes.
And
But
she
talk
should
about-
have.
Yeah.
Well,
Cardi
that's-
B, I still love you.
That's
Music.
why Wendy Williams was laying low. She's like, nah, shut. She like, I'm gonna need about 6-7 months until everything cooled down.
You need to
Because
break.
Wendy Williams invented it. Without Wendy, there would be none of the Tasha TK, whatever.
No, it wouldn't.
There would be none
No,
of
it
this other
wouldn't.
stuff.
Hats off to you, Wendy.
You know, so,
Get well
you know,
soon.
I hope she
We
feel
miss
better.
you. Yeah.
You know,
Check on that mental. Anybody
really-
dealing with mental issues, please
allegedly
seek
she was
someone.
getting butt implants, but you ain't heard from me.
What's next? This man said butt
Allegedly.
implants.
When
Allegedly,
she come in here
please.
curvaceous, then y'all gonna be saying,
See what
You know what? What's next on the
No, we
list?
about to get in this topic, Dr.
All right, let's get in
We about
this
to get into
topic.
this topic. We got this topic. Let me make sure I got my information because I'm about to go in, Dr. V. You need a drink of water? You
Yeah,
need
I
to
got it. I'm
get
waiting on you.
because we need to get into this topic because it's something important we need to talk about.
Yes.
And it's
Everyone, I think, sacrifices. And we, is there a limit to sacrifice?
Yes.
How far should we sacrifice?
well, before you go there, Dr. V.
Okay, let's read.
Before you go there.
Let's go. I'm tying my shoes. Come on,
Tie your
let's go. I'm ready to
So
go.
for those who watching and listening, maybe you've already read about it. There's an article in Essence magazine, and it's called "How Walking Away from My Career and My Marriage Showed Me That Self-Love Is Enough." Let me say it again. How walking away from my career and marriage showed me that self-love is enough. And it's a story about Dr. Uche Blackstock and her personal story of leaving behind her career as a physician and ending her marriage, and how she found herself when she did both. Now, I read this, Dr. V. I read it
I
a
read it
couple of
too.
times. And I'm gonna just put my position out here
I'm
before
ready.
we start talking about sacrifice.
I'm ready.
After I read this article,
Mm-hmm.
it is the most selfish thing I've ever read. The most selfish thing I have ever read. And there's time to be selfish, Dr. V.
It
There's
is.
time to be
It
selfish.
is. Okay.
But you leave your marriage,
Mm-hmm.
your career,
Mm.
your 2 kids. She got 2 kids, Dr. V.
I know. I read.
So that she could love herself.
Love herself. That's
Yeah.
the dumbest thing
We're
I
gonna break
ever
this down
heard.
into some parts, Dr. V, and we're
But
gonna
hey.
talk about sacrifice. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna talk about sacrifice. So let's start this off.
How you want to start?
We
this
are academics.
Yes, we are academia.
Academia.
Okay.
I'm an academic black. Sacrifice. Define it. Define it, Dr. V.
Give me the statistical data, please. Statistical
Well, we're gonna
data.
start. Let's define sacrifice.
Okay,
We're gonna do this
define
in
it
biblical
first.
aspect so that we're all on
And
the
then
same
I need to
page.
know where you getting all this information from. Are they scholarly review, peer review? Come on. Don't be just giving me some numbers.
Well, Webster.com says sacrifice is, and
Okay.
this is from the biblical aspect of it, sacrifice is defined the noun as an act of slaughtering an animal or person or surrendering a possession as an offering to God or to a divine or supernatural figure. Offer or kill as a religious sacrifice. I think that was pretty much. But what we are focusing on, we're not actually go out there and kill no goats.
No, that's more scriptural.
Unless you're Jamaican. Shout out to Curry Goat in the house.
Oh
but
my God.
sacrifice in terms of surrendering a possession as an offering, right? That's the part that we're talking about. So we're going to talk about sacrifice in the context of a relationship.
In context.
We ain't talking about a new boo that you just met. We're talking about somebody in a solid relationship
Right.
where there's commitment involved. You guys have agreed to commit to each other in terms of relationship, hopefully, preferably a long-term relationship or marriage.
Right.
Preferably marriage.
Right.
We shout out to the married folks in the house.
Yeah.
Or, used to
Well-
be married folks in the house. Shout out to y'all too.
You gonna stop throwing off at my boo.
I was talking
Look
your
here
boo ain't
now.
the only one who used to be married, Dr.V.
Oh, that's right, Eminem. Eminem. That's right, Eminem. I'm sorry, boo.
I'm just saying, Dr.V. So let's first frame it, sacrifice in the biblical context, so that
Okay.
we can all be on the same page.
All right.
I'm gonna leave that to you. Go ahead, Dr.V.
Okay, see, he only used me for the biblical side.
I'm not using you, Dr.V.
Yes, you are. But anyway, of course, in Scripture, there are a lot of sacrifices that took place. And I think Dr. P, when he was speaking to me, he was saying, what about Abraham when he took his son to kill his son? That was a sacrifice because Isaac was promised to Abraham and Isaac. And so when God told him to take Isaac to the mountain to kill him, he did that. However, that was, he didn't kill him. God wanted to see what he sacrificed, what he had been waiting on for years. So that's an ultimate sacrifice. Do you want more sacrifices from the Bible?
You gave me the other one that a lot of people don't talk about.
Hannah. Okay. So if you're familiar with Samuel, 1 Samuel, there is a biblical character by the name of Hannah. She was married to Elkanah. And so, of course, he had another woman, a mistress on the side, which her name was Peninnah. And so Hannah was barren and she wasn't able to have a child. And so every year they would go to the mountains or to the temple with King Eli. And so this time when Hannah went to the mountain, she cried to King Eli. Thought she was drunk because she was asking God to open up her womb that she may have a child because she's been teased by Peninnah. And so she promised God that if you would give me a child, I will give this child back to you. So, of course, her womb was open. She birthed Samuel. And this was the ultimate sacrifice. And I want everyone to please go read the story in 1 Samuel. How, the first couple of years, Hannah didn't go to the temple because she was still nursing Samuel. However, when it came to, the Bible doesn't give us a time. It says between 2 and 3 when she weaned him. She had to take Samuel to the king to leave him. That's the ultimate sacrifice. You have birthed a child. You have kept this child from age 1, 2, 3 years old. And to now take him and leave him and never see him again. That's sacrifice. But when she gave up that one, God blessed her with 5 more. Sacrifice. Ultimate sacrifice.
So
now we can talk about some more people in the Bible.
Well,
because you got Jacob. Because he had to work for Rachel. He got lazy-eyed Leah. And Laban said, hey, you got the custom is you got to marry the oldest. And so he had to work 7 more years to get Rachel. So it was 14 years he had to sacrifice and labor in the field.
That sounds like old girl with Bishop Noel. I ain't gonna say
You gonna get off my Bishop Noel Jones. You gonna get off my Bishop Noel Jones. Just because Bishop decided to get married at 70-some years old.
But she been around how many years? About 25, 30 years?
She's been around a minute.
25, 30 years. Now
She's
that's
been
sacrifice.
Yeah.
25, 30 years. I'm not recommending y'all sacrifice like that. So I'm just saying that was her path and her path alone.
But let's get back to scripture. let's get back to scripture. So, if they could sacrifice, why are we not sacrificing? And we've heard this story of this young lady saying that, self-fulfillment, self-happiness. People are forgetting sometimes you have to let go your happiness to maintain some things.
Because we got relationship goals, Dr.V.
What are those relationship goals? Come on.
What the young people say. They see the Sierra prayer, so they think that they gonna find.
I am still trying to understand this Sierra prayer.
Let me pull up this
Please
Sierra
pull her prayer up.
Y'all
Y'all ladies, don't be praying this prayer.
No, I think it's a song. I'm pulling up the Sierra prayer.
It's a song.
I don't think she done made it a song.
Oh Lord.
And everybody think all they got to do is get on their knees. They ain't
Baby,
they ain't been living righteous. But they gonna say this prayer, and then they gonna get them
Now let me tell you something
it's a song
too,
by Sierra and Summer
Mr.
Walker.
P. When single ladies, when you're praying, and see, this is why y'all need to come to Straight Talk with Dr. V. When you're making your prayer, you need to make sure that you're letting God know what you really want. Because if you're just asking, and I don't know what this prayer is saying, God will send you that. And then that's where we get to, we not happy. Because we're not feeling fulfilled. Because you did not wait for God to send you your Boaz.
Well, I'm about to read it to you. It's actually a song by Sarah and Summer Walker. We're not gonna play it because we don't have rights to know.
Yeah, please don't play it.
But it says, and I quote,
Read it.
Jesus, I need you. I don't fully understand everything right now, but I know you have great plans for me. I'm hurting, but there's purpose in my pain. I need you. I need you to restore my faith and love. Give me strength. I know I can't do it all on my own. I'm tired. I don't want to hurt no more. I don't want to feel like this ever again. Thank you for hearing my cry. Thank you for hearing my heart. I know you will do what's right with me. Thank you for never judging me. I'm broken, but I'm beautifully broken. I know you will help me put all of the right pieces together. I know my pain is not in vain. I know that my baby is the most precious gift you've given me in life, and I thank you for that. Thank you. Cover and protect us, Lord. I pray the next man in my life will be my husband. I pray he loves me. Watch this. I pray he loves me, leads me, guides me, reassures me.
Now I'm with on that.
I pray that he holds me. I pray that I have everything I want and need in him. I pray he will love me the way that you love me. Your love is unconditional. You're the way, the truth, and the life. In you there's hope. Lord, you say love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy. I believe in this pure love. This is what I want. Lord, thank you for reminding me who I am. I am a queen. I deserve to be treated like one. I am a warrior. I will get up. I am a child of God. I am everything you say I am. I'm an overcomer. I'm built for this. Lord, I'm ready. In Jesus' name, amen.
Okay.
This is a new song.
That's a powerful prayer.
It's a
See,
powerful prayer.
it's a very powerful
What
prayer.
they say, prayers without works is what?
Dead, because you have to put action.
Prayers without works is what?
Look
Say it
here.
one more time.
Look here. So I agree wholeheartedly. This is her prayer. Now, how you want to word your prayer, wonderful. Because the one thing I want to say, and I didn't want to interject, where she says, Lord, I need you. We need him every single day. You need him in your relationships. You need him picking out who he has designed and created uniquely for you. So yeah, this sounds like, because before she got with Russell Wilson, she didn't have this fulfillment in her life. And so I like that this is a prayer that she prayed unto our Father, and I take nothing from it. Let's get that clear. Take nothing from it. And if you feel that this can help you, please do so. However, make sure, I like specific prayers. I like to be very specific when you're asking God for something, because he'll send you somebody.
Biceps, $100 million, $1 million.
Now, he ain't got to have all of that.
I'm just trying to see how specific we're talking about, Dr. V.
But you want someone to love you like Christ loves the church. I didn't hear that.
Okay.
So you want that, because see, then that's going to cover that. That he's going to take care of you, because Christ takes care of us.
Right. But here's the caveat. I
Go
think
ahead.
this is setting up a lot of people who think that they just got to walk,
Read that
say
prayer.
this prayer and it's gonna answer.
No.
You can't be living a certain
No.
lifestyle Monday through Saturday and then say the prayer on Sunday and think somebody gonna show up on Monday, Dr. V.
Say it.
It's a setup for failure.
It is.
You have to be living a certain lifestyle, putting yourself in certain circles. You have to be actionable. You have to be
Exactly.
intentional. You can't just say this
Intentional.
prayer. And this was
Yeah.
her prayer. You need to create your own prayer. You can't
Exactly,
say,
and
you
that's
praying
why
for Sierra,
people don't need
you
to
need to
say
pray for
that.
yourself.
Exactly.
But I'm saying these people think that they're gonna post this prayer and all of a sudden first of all, there's only one Russell Wilson.
Exactly.
There's only one Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Pretty
only
much.
one Future. There's only one Dr. V, Mr. T.
Yes. Yes.
All our people. So you need to be praying for yourself.
Exactly.
Stop praying for somebody to come into your life to make you something that you're not. You need
And
to be
see,
praying
that's
for
the
yourself.
problem. People thinking that the expectation that you praying for someone to come in to validate you, you know, or to change you, just like the article that we're talking about. She thought that the marriage, the degree, the children, her finances, her everything would validate and make her happy. That does not make you happy.
No, and she didn't pray. She didn't say, I prayed for discernment, I prayed for self-love. No, she said, I can't do all that and love myself. She said that.
Yeah.
She said, I can't be a doctor, which she planned. She went to school, she
Right.
made her money. It was intentional.
Loans.
You don't just be a doctor. You don't just say, I think I'm going to be a doctor. No, you have to be intentional. You have to
Yeah.
get good grades. You got to
Exactly.
go to school. You got to do residency.
You planned.
Before that, and she did things in the proper order of things.
Yeah.
She did that. Then she found a husband, a man that she
Exactly.
wanted to marry. He asked her to marry, and she said yes.
Right. You didn't have to say yes.
You didn't have to say yes. You could have loved yourself back then.
Exactly.
Then she brought
Not one, but two.
two babies in here, and then she took a step back and she looked around, and she said, "With all this I got going on, I don't love myself."
Exactly. Exactly.
So instead of sacrificing herself, she sacrificed her family.
Didn't our grandparents do this? Our grandmothers, they knew grandpa was creeping. They sacrificed their own happiness to keep the nucleus of the family together.
Well,
As long as granddaddy was coming home every night and paying those bills, grandma didn't care. Yes, she probably cried. We didn't know she was crying. She was hurt. We didn't know she was hurt.
we got our audience members throwing their hands.
But come on now, y'all know that this happened.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
grandma
Go ahead.
grandma
Go ahead.
side-
Go ahead.
Go to the show.
That,
Go
that
ahead.
Last uncle, that last uncle who don't look like everybody.
Right. We
That
already
dad knew that was his baby. But he still took care of him. Anyway, go ahead.
Go ahead, Brina.
We good.
Go
You got
ahead.
something to say? No?
I do, but I'm away.
You gonna
Okay.
wait. Okay.
All right.
Here's the thing,
I
Doc.
do.
Here's the thing. When you enter into, and again, when you enter into a marriage, that's some serious business. I don't understand why people do not take it seriously. When you
Brina
make
and I had
those
this
vows,
conversation
when
earlier.
you say that,
Yeah.
that's some serious
That's serious
business.
business.
If you don't mean that for life, if there's any doubt, if you don't mean it for richness, richer or poor, sickness and health, all that stuff, if you don't mean that, you should not even fathom
Marriage.
marriage.
Yeah.
You should not,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you're going to go through all that. You're going to be poor before you become rich or richer. Some of us don't ever get to rich. I'm richer than I was when I first got married, but I'm still poor.
I'm gonna need you to stop
Sickness and
hearing that
health.
lie.
I'm poor, Dr. V.
You are not po. Keep it moving.
I got one step in the poor house and one step out.
Don't say
Anyway,
that.
so
We
that's what
renounce
I'm
and
saying,
denounce
Dr. V.
that last statement in Jesus' name. Now
Look,
go ahead.
I humble myself before thee.
Thank
I
you.
am poor.
You are not po.
I
Now
am.
you keep speaking it.
No, I'm rich in spirit,
Come on now.
but I'm poor in finance. Don't ask me for nothing.
We all right.
poor in finance. I'm rich in spirit, but I'm poor in finance. You want to amen that, babe?
Amen.
Now hold on. Let me tell you, we gonna get to the gym on Monday night. Erica talking about, you know we ain't poor. I don't know where Paul was talking that stuff.
Who you telling we poor?
Situation away.
We ain't got a dollar. Can you borrow? I ain't got a dollar. Can I borrow a dollar, Dr.V? I got a collection plate over there on y'all way out. Drop a dollar in there if you don't mind, please.
Y'all know P is playing.
Right.
Don't
Anyway,
P.
Dr.V.
Come on.
My whole point is,
Yes.
you cannot enter into that marriage, which is, I think, is the ultimate sacrifice.
Right. It is.
Because you stand before.
You're making a
You stand
commitment.
before God,
A
and
promise.
your witness, and everybody saying that I am going to sacrifice myself
Right.
for the betterment of this relationship.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I am not talking about your children. I got a new motto this year.
No,
What's your new motto?
Forget them kids. Forget them kids. But I'm sacrificing myself for the woman that I've taken that vow with.
Yes, and that's a
I don't have to
beautiful
sacrifice
thing.
myself for nobody else
Right.
but her. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying that 10 years down the line I'm going to decide, look around, yeah, I'm not fulfilled. I don't, in order for me to love myself, I need a new space environment. It's called a midlife crisis. I see you, and we're going to get to it's called a midlife
Like crisis that men go through.
You women too.
I ain't never heard no
This is
woman
a
go through
doctor.
all of that.
This lady is a doctor. She a certified doctor. She
And that
got her-
has no bearings on
I'm
anything.
just saying, you had to be intentional in your actions from the very get-go, Dr. V. You can't get to a point in your life and decide that you can't do this anymore.
But you got to remember, this lady here in the article was thinking that all of these things would make her happy.
That's not
That-
their
that's
fault.
not-
So you
Yeah,
you
but-
tell that to your kid. Well, when I was younger, I always wanted to be a doctor and a wife and have these kids. But now that I've attained it all, I'm not happy. You go live with your daddy on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I got you Thursday through Friday. Kids don't care about that.
Exactly.
So you got a broken home. Are you not endeared to them?
But my thing is, her idea, unicorn, a picture, was as a child, as we were growing up, the idea was to grow up and get married, have a family, have a career, have all these great, marvelous things, and it didn't pan out like she thought. You know, of course, when we're imaginating and we're thinking about the future, we're not thinking about reality. Right now, this is la la land as we're growing up. So all the while she was going through the motions of getting her degree, getting married, having children, reality did not set in with this doctor until after she had her child. Because remember when I read the article,
Second child.
the first child.
Second child.
No, it's the first child. She said she felt lonely.
She should have had the second one then. But go ahead.
Lord Jesus Christ, this man.
And then hold on. Let me caveat.
Okay.
She said her husband was a good husband.
Yes,
So,
she did.
There was not other. She had stresses in her career. I'll give her that.
Because there
But
was
her husband-
racial issues going
But her
on.
husband was a good man. He did not deserve what he got. He played no part in her wanting to be outside
Oh,
her.
all day long I say she's selfish. All day long.
Okay.
Because you knew this was not la la land. You were in reality
You
now.
made your bed. You
Women,
supposed
we
to
have
lay
been
in it, Dr. V.
sacrificing for men's careers for years. So she knew. I heard him.
I don't care. But she had the career, Dr. V. She wasn't a stay-at-home mother.
No,
She's
she
the
wasn't.
doctor.
But
she
she-
chose the career.
She chose the career, however, and she loved her career. She never said she didn't like it. She said after you've got postpartum depression going on, and I don't think that she sought
She didn't say
or
that.
seeked any help.
She didn't say that, Dr. V.
Yes, she did. She look up there after her first child. She felt lonely. She felt a certain type of way after her first child, and she was depressed. That's postpartum.
No, she wanted to sleep late, and she had them babies so she can sleep late. But go ahead.
You know
Dr. V.
what? No, you didn't say she wanted to
You
sleep
want a
late.
hot girl summer. Go ahead, Dr. V. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dr. V.
You know what?
Let me pull up.
Bring it up, because I read the article.
I read the
Go
article.
after her first child, and how she felt after her first child. She was tired. And all of those signs point to postpartum depression. So since she didn't deal with that and she went on about life, she went on and had a second child, the things that happened from the first after the first child festered and got bigger. It grew. And as it grew, you couldn't help but now I'm not happy with none of this. When we should have dealt with the issue from the first child. Because as I read the article, her issues didn't happen until after the first child. She loved her marriage. And she says she loves her children, but that's when we see these mental issues come in after the first child.
I'm not letting her off the hook. Go
Oh,
ahead.
Lord.
Go ahead. I'm not letting her off the hook. Go
Can
ahead.
I interject and
Interject,
Yes.
please.
that
Interject.
to keep the conversation going, let's say the issues can come from your ideology of who you're supposed to be, point blank, period.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you who you're supposed to be, who you're destined to be, based on your color, based on your gender. And I'll be placing you in a box unfairly if I say, because you're a woman, because you're black, or because you're white, or because you're whatever, from this country or this country, that you are ultimately designed to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to just lay that foundation.
Okay.
That's unfair to say.
Mhm.
But keep it in mind that that is the ideology every time you look at this middle-aged woman who got her career banging that may not have children yet. Oh, okay, so you up on your career. So your wound ain't worthy.
Right.
Nah, that ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm feeling I'm worthy, so therefore I'm gonna put time into me and my career because
Right.
I know it takes this to sustain me if a man don't find me worthy
Right.
to wed me.
Right.
So we're keep in mind, I can only speak from a 47-year-old black woman. You juggling a lot of things, and it ain't just from the woman perspective. You're speaking to a woman who's been an entrepreneur, who's been corporate, who's educated, and who's a mother. You looking at a million issues wrapped up in one article, but we can elaborate.
We can elaborate because
So that means she should walk away. What are you saying?
I would say this. To move on in the conversation, it would be hard to badger someone who walks away when the other sex walks away based on their unction every day with no judgment.
I'm not saying badgering, but if the man walks away,
He just walks
how
away.
is he viewed?
He just pays child support.
No, but how is he viewed? I'm not talking about
It's,
things.
it's not a view,
Well,
to be honest.
Really? So he's not viewed
Society
as a
is
deadbeat
it didn't
dad?
work.
No, he's not viewed as a deadbeat dad?
No, because he
Really?
can pay child support and
Yeah,
just
I know
don't
what
work.
child support,
But
but
let
he's
her
viewed as a
walk
deadbeat
away and don't have her children.
Okay, let me ask you
men
this
who walk
question.
away are viewed as deadbeat dads.
No.
Let me ask you this question.
Nah, from
Never did.
a man perspective,
Men-
that's not what I hear.
Let me ask you this
Men
question.
get a pass.
Hold on.
No, they don't.
It's easier because females do carry the burden
Mm-hmm.
of
Ultimately.
making everything come together and keep things going. So it's almost like if a man chooses to walk away, they can walk away and really not look back. Period.
Mm-hmm.
But if a female walks away, she's leaving a lot of shrapnel
Yes.
along the way because they look at females as that person as the glue
That was supposed
to
to be
everything, to everything.
Right.
So, and it's not automatically assumed that the man is going to pick up everything that the female was responsible for. It's going to look like she just pretty much just left us hanging.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if a man walks away, a female's just going to pick up that gap and keep it going.
Let me ask you this question.
Men don't do that.
When a man walks away, is it wrong or right?
It's wrong.
It is wrong.
So two wrongs make it right?
That ain't the point.
No.
It's
It is the point.
It's
It's not
unfair.
the point.
It's unfair.
It's
one is
perception.
wrong, the other
We
is
read an
wrong.
article and we're speaking on
Yeah.
perception.
Yeah, it's perception because
So there's
here's
not
the
a right or
thing.
wrong.
And here's the thing. Typically, when someone walks away, or when a woman walks away, typically, not always, because this is obviously, it's not. there's issues where she doesn't have a good partner. She's not being supported. She's not doing that. But all throughout this article, she says how great of a partner her husband was. She said he was a good partner. She don't throw no shade at her husband. She don't throw no shade at him. He did nothing wrong. He did everything according to her right. But she decided that the path that she laid for herself, that she did, and let me read it, I'll just read this before you start. I spent most of my adult life checking off the boxes. Go to college. Her decision, check. Be pre-med, check. Attend medical school, check. Get a residence, check. Oh, look, a fellowship, check. Find a faculty position, check. All before she met her husband. Then she gets to meet someone, check. Get married, check. Have kids, check. Live happily ever after. Oh.
Hold on.
Semi-check. Hold on. The end. She got to the little happily ever part, and she decided the path that she had laid for herself, and it's both wrong. I'm not saying if you switch the genders, a man did this wrong, selfish.
It's just wrong. Yeah.
But she get an article written up on herself that says how walking away from my career and marriage showed me that self-love is enough. That's the selfish part.
It's selfish. All day long, it's selfish. It's selfish.
That's the selfish part. You don't get an article, you don't get cookies and cake for walking away from your relationship. You can talk about your self-love all you want to. I got to a point where I realized, blah, 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 I wasn't happy. I thought that this would make me out of that one. Self-love is not enough because you owe it to your children. You owe it to that man you made them vows to because you have basically broken the home so you can sit in your peace and love yourself. F them kids because you gave them a broken home. Now you could have loved yourself and say, look, boo. When I entered into this, I had this path for my life. I thought that this was going to fulfill me. I thought I was going to be happy. But I find that I am not having enough space to love myself. Now, y'all can make a decision. Can we come to a compromise where I can find time to love myself? Where I can find things that fulfill me? Where I can, become who I really believe who I need to be? I know we got these kids. So can we come to some agreement? Can we come to some understanding? No, come to some understanding. They went to counseling. Some understanding where I can do both within the realms of this relationship or this marriage. And then when the kids turn to a certain age, if things have not turned, we can go our separate ways.
But that's wasting too much time.
That's not wasting time. She ain't got nothing but time now.
Really?
She ain't got nothing but time.
Really?
See, I have a different perspective.
Go.
Okay.
I think I'm agreeing with you both. It is very selfish. However, I understand where she's coming from. I am not married. I don't have children. But I think that if you are, apparently she was not happy even before she entered into all of this.
Right.
She wasn't happy. So apparently she must have been afraid to say, I'm not happy. This is not where I want to be. I'm speculating. Because she, as you said, she went to med school. She got her residency. She got a fellowship. She met someone. She then got married. And then on top of that, she had children. And then at that point stated or figured out, this is not where I want to be. But my question would be, was that not where you wanted to be before you had all that?
That's what she wanted to be.
That's what she wanted to be.
That's what she wanted to be. That was her checklist.
So if that's what she wanted to be, then carry on with that.
Exactly.
Carry on with that.
Sometimes
and
we
figure
do
out
not
how to be happy.
Exactly.
In that situation.
Exactly.
If you can.
Exactly.
If you
and
can.
and just as I was stating earlier about being, scripture, about being happy and sacrificing, we have to sacrifice some things. And it's sacrificing for your family. You have to do what you need to do before you got into this marriage. And I think Sabrina and I spoke on this earlier today, that God spoke on a 5th grade level. So even when you make your vows, they're understood. So the preacher ain't said nothing that you had to go get Webster. It said for better or worse. And so you understood the vows. So come on. I don't get this. You have to make sacrifices in marriage. And I'm like James, I've never been married, but I know that I'm going to have to sacrifice some things. And then when you feel unfulfilled, do not look to your mate to fulfill those things. There is a higher being that will help you feel like you are fulfilled. But I would never look to my mate for fulfillment or happiness. And I would never look to my money for that. Yes, my mate can make me happy in some things, company, talking, all those good things. However, that's an internal void that often all of us feel from time to time that cannot be filled by another human being.
Yeah,
Let's get that right. Go ahead.
So to interject on that question, if you are not fulfilled, and just like your bank account, you could be NSF, insufficient. If you are at 0, please tell me where you doing for another person is going to bring you into positive.
It's not.
It's not.
Thank
But
you.
here's the thing. You have to make...
Hey. We can have bachelors, we can have masters, we can have PhDs. We can still go into NSF. We can still purchase more than what we can afford. We still can screw up a marriage.
You
We can still, I can take a list of what we will still make mistakes in. But when you see that you are a sinking ship, and either I'd rather dive off a building than to exist, at some point, save yourself, tell the story, and save millions.
You can do that.
You can, but
You
you
can do
can't
both.
if you're worried about what someone is going to think of your decision to save yourself. Because your children will reach 18. They're going to be booed up. They're gone out your house. They're going to experience their own relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Your mates may not like you tomorrow. Will be booed up next year.
I said F them
She
kids.
said that.
Oh, I will tell you that anyway.
Yeah,
My
I said-
kids will say F me. And
Yeah.
She said they gonna be
I
all
said
That's-
F them kids. But here's the thing.
trust me.
You did not make that vow to your children.
But let me
You
say
made that
this.
commitment to that other person.
You're absolutely correct. But you made
Give me the
that same with the same knowledge. I'm gonna say it again, with the associates, bachelor's, master's, PhD on the wall with the same should be comprehension when you overdrew your account, when you was late on your payment, when you was late on your credit payment, when you understood the terms. That does not make you flawless.
No, I'm not saying you're not flawless.
What?
I'm just saying you made your bed, lay in it.
The whole point is when you get hit with them charges and when you get hit with everything that's gonna come along, even with your bankruptcy, we can say laying. That don't mean it's gonna make it easy.
Who said it's gonna be easy?
Well, this
Who
is what
said
I'm
it's gonna
saying.
be easy?
She made a choice to do what would save her.
That's right. A choice to save
And
her.
again, that's the most selfish thing that I have ever heard. Because again, you made the decision. Where's the accountability in yourself?
It's accountability that was missed.
Here's the
Before we
thing.
got
Here's the
here.
thing. You know what bankruptcy is? Chapter 7, chapter 13. Okay, I'm filed bankruptcy. Look, I'm depleted. I'm gone. I ain't got nothing left. Here's my creditors. My husband, my 2 children. Here's my payment plan. I'm gonna give you a little this, and in 7 years, y'all gonna be paid off. And then after y'all paid off, you go on about your business. We ain't doing chapter 13. I think that's 13, right? Where you
don't
don't get to pay it back. I ain't filed bankruptcy, thank God. But anyway, one of them, you still got to pay that debt.
Right.
You still got to pay that debt. You don't. This is not like a credit score. You don't get to wait 7 years and it's clean because you will impacted lives.
You do.
You
That's
impacted
God's
lives,
grace.
right? You impacted lives.
But
So,
it's still God's grace.
it's still God's
You could have
grace.
been impacted 10 years before now when you got pregnant out of wedlock.
Yeah.
That was still God's grace.
It was, but you got a debt you gotta pay.
You still paying it that 10 years later. God is still God 10 years later.
Hey, you trying to file chapter 13?
He's still God
Look,
13 years later.
You doing
7 years later.
You doing that Trump tax accounting?
He's
Well, look,
still God
you-
7 years later.
You elevating, you elevating your assets when you want that loan. I'm gonna be a great wife. I'm gonna be a great mother. I'm gonna be a great partner. And then when it's time to pay that debt, when you pay them taxes, I ain't got nothing left.
Listen, you got bad credit. I can't deal with you.
I'm just saying.
I can't deal with you because your credit bad.
I'm just saying.
Mm-mm.
These are the
And we've
decisions-
talked about bad credit, that
Yeah.
we're at an age now
These are the
that that's something
decisions
that we
that you
just
get.
can't.
Well,
As me and James are both single, you can't come to the table talking about we 50
But you
years
got
old
bad-
and we. I'm not getting ready to help you fix your credit, bro. It's a dumb
You know what I wish
stick
they
a
could
fork
do?
in that. I open the door and
I've been
let you
married,
out.
so this don't impact me. It would be interesting if they could give like people, the single folks, give y'all a credit score for y'all relationships, like y'all regular credit score. That way you when you meet somebody, pull up your Equifax, your relation facts.
Yeah.
But they got the car facts. What's your relationship
Yeah.
facts? Oh no.
I want your TransUnion.
No, look, you got some
facts.
you got some accidents. You got some damage.
We gonna need
You need to
Equifax,
pull that relationship
TransUnion,
back.
and
We need to
Experience.
start a relationship
And
fact.
if you got stamps in your passport, there's a problem.
Right.
If your credit is bad.
Then you'll let your past
What?
relationship
Y'all
report
want
your
your
credit
credit
score.
and your credit
Your
bad.
relationship score.
Wait a minute,
That way
James.
you
What
know.
you said you
What?
want?
Listen, if your credit is bad and you got stamps in your passport, that's a problem.
You
got
That's a
priorities
problem.
wrong.
You need to refocus your priorities.
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Because you can't go on vacation with me and we come back and the lights are off.
That's what you do. You
He
take
know
care
he
of
got,
life.
he got a real case scenario.
Yeah.
All right, Milton. We need to hear that real case scenario. Tell us about it.
You gonna throw her under the bus?
That's gonna be business.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth.
All right, so Dr. V, as I like to do,
Okay.
I like to ground our conversation.
All right, let's round it out.
This is marriage.com. This is the article. What does sacrifice in a relationship really actually mean? Just bring it closer. So, contrary to belief that sacrifice in a relationship means essentially giving away your life to another, we can actually learn and grow from putting the needs of someone else and the relationship needs on the same level as our own. So, let me read it again for y'all in the back. Contrary to the belief that sacrificing a relationship means essentially giving away your life to another, we can actually learn and grow from putting the needs of someone else and the relationship's needs on the same level as our own. The willingness to set aside our desires for a time, not forever, for a time, in order to be in service for another is a characteristic of a giving human being. That willingness to sacrifice in a relationship shows a deep level of care and commitment to the other. So what does it mean to make a sacrifice in a relationship? Dr. V.
Okay, let me use this as you were talking, and even this week when I was just thinking about my mother, and of course people don't think that when you're saved you don't date. My mother dated, and it wasn't until I came of age and I was like, Mom, why didn't you never marry? She sacrificed marriage because of me.
Yep.
And she told me she's because, you have your brothers, but you're a girl. And I didn't want to bring any men around you because you are a female. And so I had to be careful that these men, they were not your father. And so I sacrificed not being married, not moving up out of the projects because of you. So these are things that our parents did back in the day.
Yeah.
And we're not seeing that sacrifice anymore. That's sacrifice.
They stayed.
And she gave up her happiness. She gave up being married and moving out of the projects. And it was one particular guy that I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, bought me a 10-speed. And so,
That's all it took.
you know,
Changing them gears.
you know, so those are sacrifices that I know, and that's what I consider a sacrifice. Because you're giving up something, and knowing that she wanted a company, she wanted a mate, a significant other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I see and know as sacrifice.
Yeah, staying is a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Staying is a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's so interesting, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
is that we think of sacrifice as a win-lose.
Mm-hmm.
A lose-lose. It should be a win-win. I mean,
Yeah.
sacrifice does not mean that we give everything. It's
Right.
give and take.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some good days and not good days. So
Yeah.
that's what real sacrifice. So if you're all lost,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you call that. That's not a sacrifice. That's
Right.
probably what this lady might have been facing.
Mhm.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, that's, I don't know.
And it wasn't, because I feel like there was a way she could have made it work through. But she was willing to sacrifice it all.
Mm-hmm. It did.
She did sacrifice it all. Because here's the thing. This is how I see it. There's things that we could do as individuals that could put our life on a trajectory. Particularly if you've been married as long as I have, but we have. If I had married my wife at 24, but I forgot. 24, would I be here today? No.
Mm-hmm.
Would I even be in Georgia? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Will my career be what it is? Probably not. Will her career be what it is? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
But because we both sacrificed our wants and our needs and our desires for the sake of the relationship, we're here where we're at today. We still poor, but we still together.
I'm gonna need you to stop saying this post stuff.
But we still together.
I'ma stop.
Because there's
You need
paths in
to
her
stop
career.
declaring that.
There's-
Stop
there's-
saying that
There's
now.
trajectories in my career that would have that I had to sacrifice
Right.
for the benefit of my family.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to be present for my family. To be present. There's sacrifices she made. You know, there's give and take. There's points in our relationship where she went and got her MBA when she met you.
Mm-hmm.
I had to sacrifice my time, my energy to keep everything together while she did that. And then when she finished, we flipped the script and I started.
Right.
And there's times where she sacrificed
That's what
her time and herself like that. So it's not a lose-lose. It's
Right.
what we say is for the kingdom.
It's for the kingdom.
It's for the kingdom.
The Barnes Kingdom.
It's for the kingdom. You're looking at the bigger picture. Yeah, I may not be happy today, but the sacrifices that I'm making today is going to put us in a better position tomorrow or 2 weeks from now or a year from now. Go ahead.
But that's with a lot of times when we're having conversations, I believe that's believing with all things being equal. And that's not always the case.
It's not equal. If you think it's equal, you're wrong.
But understood. But who is to say who can handle what's not unequal?
If you who can handle,
Who is to say
No one
who
is to
can
say it.
handle what's unequal?
it is not who's to say it, but you know that's a different conversation.
We can
But
speak from a perspective of what seems equal, then it's an easy
it's not
journey.
equal. If you go into a relationship or a marriage thinking that it's going to be equal, you are doomed to fail.
Whether you're thinking it or not, and it's revealed, who is it to say what you are able to tolerate in your strength to handle what's equal and what's not?
It's different.
It is different. It's subjective.
It's very different.
It is.
And I was, this takes the whole conversation on another spin. So I don't know if I wanted to go into it, but that's why I was just like, when I was reading this article. But I can speak from the 47-year-old black woman that's educated. It ain't as easy with the idea of what it is, whether it's being now married 25 years, being married now 23 years, with this check bit list of, oh, I want to have my 4 children before 30. Do I know what the hell I'm doing? I may just not. But the checklist says, get that shit done. Excuse me, get it done.
Right.
I said, pump the brakes on the education. I got a skill, do some hair, do some makeup, whatever. But come back to the education because you believe on this checklist you'll be able to do so and so. You'll be considered as so and so because now you educated. That ain't still what it is because now, as this lady says, in the workplace, now I got to deal with you in the workplace because you don't see me worthy. So all of these checklists and these boxes I'm checking ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't really got nothing to do with the plan for me. It has to do with the ideology of what I'm chasing. That no one really can say, baby, that's my plan for you. This is my plan for you. We're going off of what we assuming.
Right.
And everybody got a different journey to get there.
Right.
They do.
Yeah.
So it's a little difficult.
Right.
And you got to be a whole nother type of woman, not always say. And no offense to any other race, this black woman got it bad. Because at the end of the day, when all the crap fall apart, whether it's the children, the education, the job, you got this black woman with the black little children with whatever education she got or whatever dime she got trying to make this whole damn world circle around. And it don't always work like that. So now what do you do instead of jumping off that building?
What you do is you
Yeah.
go to your husband.
Wait,
Wait, let me finish.
Okay. That's if I can.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Let me finish. Because your husband didn't ask you to take on the whole world. He didn't ask you to do all that. He didn't ask you to try to check off these boxes. Those are the decisions you made. Now you committed yourself to him. And we're talking about in that. He didn't ask her. She had it from everything that she said, she had a good husband. She didn't say he was unreasonable, he was the man, and he wasn't doing nothing. So you go to him and you guys create a plan to move forward together. Because again, those are the actions that you make. Nobody forced you to do that, even though you had this checkbox and all that. That's for you. That's what accountability is. That's where standing in your shoes comes from. And I'm not saying you're supposed to stand there and take it, but that's the whole premise of the relationship. That's the whole premise of who in it. You go to him and y'all come up with, I ain't say go to your church, go to your pastor, I don't care what nobody else say outside them 2 walls, these 4 walls. I don't care what nobody think outside these 4 walls. I don't care what nobody inside these 4 walls think except for her. I don't care if nobody enter in, they can look in, they can peer in, they can say whatever they want. It don't matter.
Can I say, if that's again assuming all things are equal and that
I'm not
you're
assuming.
that guy?
I'm
Right.
not assuming all things are equal.
Oh, but in this conversation right now, that she could come to you and say, baby, I'm feeling this kind of way because they treat me like this, and I know I should be getting paid 6 figures on my job because I'm the black woman on my job and I got a PhD. They want to pay me $60,000. First of all, as a black woman, that's a rough conversation that ain't nobody gonna talk about in the house because A, you're struggling as a black man with your own conversation on your job.
I'm not.
But you 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I
you
understand.
might.
Yeah.
I'm not.
But
But
you're
you
not
might.
the typical. She's saying
Right.
So
typical
everything is not
conversation.
equal.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Everything's
I don't
not
think it should be
equal.
You don't have that sounding board where
Exactly.
they'll be receiving of that conversation
Right.
to be able to help
But
you
she didn't say that,
through
though.
it.
Correct.
That's she's saying. That's
She
what
said
she's
it.
saying.
No, I'm saying I know that's what she's saying.
Yeah,
That's not what
you talking about the doctor.
the doctor.
Okay.
I'm not saying the doctor didn't
Because
say
if
that.
you don't have that, and we
Right.
don't,
I get it.
she may not have said that in the article. Maybe she should have clarified
Exactly.
their relationship because at what's in that article, I didn't read the article, but basically she's saying he was all well, fine, and dandy. So, and if she didn't take the opportunity to speak to him about how she was feeling, that's her miss.
Right.
But she did not say that whether he was receiving or not. She was just saying, wasn't nothing wrong with him.
Right.
This what I
So
need.
it didn't give
So
us
maybe
detailed
she
information.
had clarified in her relationship, you know, because you can say everything's good, but it's not good all the time. So she did not clarify, you know, there's highs and lows. You know, if you roll it all up in a ball and you want to summarize it and give the cliff notes, it's gravy. But at the same time, it's gravy as a whole. But in that moment, it's not or it is. And so when she was probably having her meltdown, that could have been the not receiving moment. So she had to make that decision.
Right. And those
Chuck
are
the deuces.
Yeah, and those are the moments where we need that support and people to rally around us. And
That's real.
And those are the moments where it's
That's
easiest
real.
to bail. Because what else do we do? What you either fight, you go fight, or
Fight or
you
flight.
The moments we're made of.
Yeah.
Right, the moment we're made of. And what I hear you talk about, Mr. P, is that we, and I'm gonna put this in the context of those people of color, need to find a way to be willing to figure out, come to each other's rescue to fight.
Yeah, because to me, essentially, the way she framed it, she's gonna be by herself forever.
Yeah, maybe.
Alone. Because you can't tell me this man was everything, or he was a great father, he's a great co-parent, and you finna go 3 years later, you finna enter into a new relationship. What's stopping you from leaving that one?
She
didn't
didn't
elaborate that.
disclose everything.
I didn't say that, but I'm just saying, you left the thing that you built. You basically tore down the life that you live.
You left
So that you
everything.
can build on, you say you want to make a better world for your kids. So, does that mean you gonna make that better world by yourself? Because you could have did all them things with your husband.
True. If your this is the one thing that I figured out, and it made sense from an older woman. When the sinking ship is sinking, you the captain of the ship. You can take everybody with you.
She
Oh, you
did.
can jump out.
She took everybody with her.
No, she didn't.
Because she did, because
Hold on. If everybody, with everything being equal, I'm gonna bring this point back to you. With everything being equal, if that was the case, she ain't take nobody with her. She found herself.
She had a light bulb.
Hello.
But that was
she left them on a sinking
Now
ship.
hold on. You ain't ever.
left.
If you are who you are should be. In my weakness, you're not a sinking ship. You just now are the life raft and you paddling like hell.
She left.
Yeah, I agree with that.
She left.
Yeah.
She left.
You know, and
She over there,
Right,
they
she
over
over
here.
Don't
He
have
ain't
a
got
lot
no
of
wife,
experience.
they ain't got no mama in the house.
That's true, and it is powerful. I think back to my mother. Her mother actually. So her husband died, and when her husband died, this was way back, probably I guess the 40s or so. She decided that she would be better off going elsewhere, finding a new husband, starting a new life, versus staying with those kids. 5 kids, and those kids held that thing throughout their lives. It never went away.
It never goes away.
It never.
That's traumatizing.
It was, and what they wondered was they were successful. They did what they needed to do. Why didn't she love us enough? And that's what I heard. I heard from my own mother.
With the
who
kids.
believed that, I was just surprised that after all these years, y'all still hanging on to the fact that she left. And she returned, right, with a new husband, and they brought in, tried to get the new kid, the kids back
Man,
together.
you missed me with that.
That was
You lived your life.
amazing.
You tossed
that
us to the
how
side.
Yeah.
how they felt that
Yeah.
they had you do take the whole shit. Well, at least in that case, the whole everybody sang with the shit.
I think there is also a double standard as well, in regards to mothers and fathers. If a mother leaves the family, she is most definitely, doubly looked down upon
Oh yes,
than a father who leaves the family. Yeah, you may be a deadbeat dad, you may not pay child support, but if a mother leaves, then she is the epitome of failure, of bad mother, of you left the children that you bore. How could you? What was so bad that you would leave your kids?
Yeah, absolutely. That's
But there are double standards both ways.
Absolutely.
If I get a young lady pregnant, I don't want the child, I don't have a say in that child coming to this earth.
True.
So if she decides, no, I'm going to bring this baby, then I'm quote unquote stuck. No. I'm quote unquote
Responsible.
stuck.
You're responsible.
So I'm being responsible. No, I'm saying, but I don't want a child.
But you're still
But it
responsible.
doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? But it's double standards both ways.
Yeah.
So you made a decision that I'm going to bring a child in this world. So why am I stuck? I'm paying child support.
It's a
I
little
didn't want
different.
a child. It ain't different.
There's a difference
But
in
it's double standards in
responsibility.
life.
Because it's
There's
his
double standards in
analogy
life.
of
So
coming
that's
to the
what I'm-
altar, and it's
No.
your analogy of having sex with
No,
him.
I'm not saying about it's
You
double
know what it
standards
can
in life.
result to.
It still doesn't matter. I don't want a child.
It don't matter.
So why should I be responsible for the child?
Because
Because I'm not that big.
Something I
No,
don't
I'm just saying. I don't want it.
Let me just throw
I
this.
don't want it.
Let me just throw this little caveat out there.
Okay.
For real. I mean, for real, we there.
Let me throw this little caveat
I'm
out
being
there.
frank. Either way, I didn't want
Mills.
this.
Let me throw this out here.
I'm being real.
Let me throw this bomb. Statistics show that women initiate divorce in up to 80% of cases.
So they can't hit me there. When it goes
Well, I'm
against
not
stuff,
married.
they
I
gotta
can't say anything. Milton,
So what is it? 80%?
80%.
When you go and get stuff, they want to beg.
80%.
According to what I heard, what I heard, when you go and get stuff, females got to go.
80%.
80% of the time. Is that again, Paul?
80%.
80%. 8 out of 10.
8
4
out
to
of
5.
Pretty much.
They said they got to go.
9 out of 10.
yeah, because they ain't gonna date.
Let's do a further analogy. 80% of the time, she has already sacrificed 10 years in of being everything that she ain't, including educated, fulfilled, and all the other two.
She
While
ain't got
you,
but 8 more years. Stick it out.
not
No, no, no.
negative. Because if he decided,
She ain't
it
got
wouldn't
any
even
more
be a
years.
number on the table.
She ain't got but 8 more years.
He just was out.
You said
She ain't got but 8 more years.
Mr. Biggie said she ain't got but 8 more. That's it.
Stick
So
it out.
Milton, can I ask you this question,
7
Milton,
years,
if you
11
don't mind?
months. Go ahead.
Who was the first to initiate wanting to
My
divorce?
wife.
Your wife. Okay.
No, I mean, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
That's all I said is my wife.
Right.
8%. All right. All right. So let's wrap this thing up. Let's wrap it up.
Drop
Let's
your
bring it
pencil
around.
again.
Let's bring it around.
I can relate to that percentage.
Right.
You could.
I'm just saying, I'm being real.
Here's a question.
Here's the thing.
Unlikely, y'all.
Let's let's
What?
let's bring this full circle.
We know they gotta go.
Let's bring this full circle. Ultimately, one party is not willing to sacrifice their happiness. 'Cause let's just call it what it is. They want to be happy. They want to be fulfilled. They want to have a career. They want a hot girl summer.
Oh my God, hot
They
girl
want to
summer.
travel. They want to live, do the Sierra prayer. They want to do whatever they want to do after they made a decision that put them on this path. And I'm not even saying just all women, men too. Men too.
Thank you.
So I'm not saying men are free. Men are just as culpable as women. First of all, y'all single folks got to get together. So let me just throw that out. Y'all single folks are the problem. Married folks.
Hold up,
we got-
hold
we
up,
broke it down.
hold
Anyway,
up. Hold up.
sacrificing-
How are we the problem? You got to give me a reason why we're the problem.
Well, for those who want to be married, you are the problem because there's something you're doing that not getting you married. But anyway,
No.
that's a different stuff.
Ooh, oh my God. Jay, if your hand did not go up, Jay, hold up. Hold up. Hold the line. Hold the line. No. What are we doing? No. You just ain't gonna put that out there. And
wrapping it up and then you gonna
Wrap it up.
no, my favorite word, no.
It's a teaser for next week. Teaser.
What'd you say?
It's a teaser. It's a teaser.
That's a teaser. You best be helping Milton save you. Milton said it's a teaser.
It's a teaser for next week.
Y'all single people.
Ooh, Lord. I don't know how I'ma hold
I
this.
believe there's a lot
Woo.
of good single folks, both men and women. There's a lot of good single women, a lot of good single men. But
You better clean that up.
Some reason y'all can't get together. So it ain't the married folks' problem. We ain't the reason y'all single. Y'all the reason y'all single. Y'all
True,
single
true,
women,
true.
y'all single
No.
men. What? No, James.
No.
We ain't the problem.
You can say what you want to say.
We ain't
I
the
ain't the
problem.
problem.
Who the problem? Is it the single women the
It's
problem?
everybody else that's the problem.
Who is everybody? It's the single people?
Problems.
The problem.
This is on next week's show.
Next
Keep
week,
it
we're gonna
moving.
talk about it. We're gonna talk
Keep
about
it
it.
moving.
We're gonna bring y'all back and we're gonna talk
Write
about
that
it.
We're gonna circle back to that, but
Write
I'm coming back
that
next
down.
week.
Write that
We're
down.
gonna talk about
Write
this.
that down.
Right. We're gonna take it back.
This
Just to
effery
bring
out
it
here.
full circle, to put an opposite, there is time and place when you are sacrificing too much.
Oh,
You
you
gotta do
know
that.
I ain't letting that
Yeah,
go.
we gonna get it back out there. There are some times where we're not saying throw
You
yourself
already
apart.
know I'm going to handle
We're
that.
not saying just throw yourself apart in the fire pit and you just sacrifice until you ain't got no more. No.
I'm
There's
let
some
P
limits
have
to
his
it.
day right
There
now.
are some times when you're sacrificing too much and the imbalance is just too much. But again, if you're going into it thinking that it's going to be 50-50, you're sorely misinformed. There is nothing. There ain't going to be 50-50 on nothing. If you go in there thinking we're going to just split everything down the line with our time, our effort, our finances, you are going to fail. So if you're not going in there, you're going to fail. There's no 50-50. There's no 50. Things are not equal. You know what I mean? The burden that you women carry is not the same burden that men carry. There's a lot of the burden that women carry comes to child care and nurturing and all that stuff that men simply don't carry.
More than that.
But there also the burdens that
Right.
men carry that women
And there's some
don't
stuff
carry.
that men
Yeah,
carry that you know.
I'm a man.
Right.
Trust me.
Yeah.
I understand certain things as a man. The burdens that we
The
carry.
burden you carry.
Females don't carry because I'm gonna speak for myself.
Mm-hmm.
As a divorced man, there's sacrifices that I have to make. I should just think for Erica.
Mm-hmm.
That if I didn't do these things, I'd be viewed a certain way. Let's be call it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So there are things that as a man you got to deal with. Because if
Mhm.
not, you ain't. Excuse my language, you ain't shit.
Mhm.
I'm just being straight up. So we talk about women in this burden.
Mhm.
Men are carrying burden too.
Absolutely.
So they go both ways. We both carry burdens. It's different. I'm just from a man perspective.
care about
There's still
that
that burden
perception.
that you carry. Yeah, if you
You
care,
care about
you
that
carry that
perception.
burden.
Yeah.
That's there. So if there's things I don't do for my kids, I'm just not whatever.
Right.
But you
It is what it
care.
is.
You care about
Yeah.
that perception.
Yeah,
And
so
we're
I
talking from
understand
we're talking from a healthy
I speak from experience.
perspective. We're not talking about the toxic. We're not
Yeah.
talking about the extreme. We're talking from a healthy perspective. Go ahead.
And when we weed all of that out, I will hope that the perception is in all things you deal with each other, as the Bible would say, with the level of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, you don't know what she's dealing with, you don't know what he's dealing with until they're dealing with it. And unless you approach each other with the level of understanding and compassion, because you're not in that position, it's hard to say what she feeling and what he feeling. And the compassion is to what can keep it in the middle of the road. It's the toxicity and the what we don't see as the compassion that makes people jump ship. So in everything that was being said, it was a lot of things that wasn't being said when I read the article.
I think she left
It was
that
a
out.
lot that was being said because to me, responsibly, she was not laying blame. She was taking accountability for what she may have not considered. And she did not consider herself and her goals, but she considered a box. And I can tell you right offhand, systematically, we're all conditioned with a box. Well, in order for you to be successful, you need to do this, you need to do that. That don't mean that's how it's going to work out. And you can turn around and look at another person that can turn around and be in six figures and a millionaire with their name on billboards that didn't do what you did when they told you those were the boxes you was going to have to check. So my whole point is there's a level of compassion for everything that you have to do. And when you're linked up with the right person that has that level of understanding and compassion, that's when it makes sense. But when it don't, you end up doing what's in your best interest. To save yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you like Miss USA and you jump off a building, oh, she was cute. She was banging. The world says she was cute. But what does that mean? If you on E and you in itself, that don't mean nothing.
No,
She
I agree.
did.
I
But
agree.
I'm saying, okay, I'm sorry.
No, you
I'm
good.
so
You
sorry.
good.
You're good.
You wrap that up very
You
well
good, you right,
because
you
we
good.
look to society to validate and say what is successful and what is not, and what makes us happy and what is not. And we need to stop looking at society and look within ourselves with what makes us happy before you jump in to marriage, because I think marriage is a very serious vow and and it's a sacrifice, and more people need to think before they leap into their vows, into a committed relationship and marriages.
Yeah, my whole thing was, and this is just a fundamental principle that I just live by.
Mm-hmm.
Self-love is enough. It is not enough in my world.
Mm-hmm.
Self-love is not enough in my world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying be void of it. Of course you need to love yourself. But if that's all you living and you riding on, that is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
That is not enough. That's my breaking point right there. I can love myself. Of course you should love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Fill yourself up.
Right.
Find others who fill your cup, and you
Mm-hmm.
pour into them, they pour into you. But
Mm-hmm.
if your whole life being is to love yourself, and you're not sharing that love with others, particularly your kids and people that you entered into these vows with, I got a problem with that.
Right. Right.
So I'm not saying don't love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Love yourself, but that is not enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, Dr. V, let's wrap this thing up. It's
Okay.
been an awesome show.
It has.
Awesome
It has
day.
been an awesome
We've been
show.
blessed.
Mm-hmm.
Had a great time.
I am just so happy for the relaunch of Straight Talk with Dr. V and Mr. P. And I hope that everyone continues to support us and continue to watch us. There's going to be some amazing topics, amazing things that are going to be happening. We're going to bring more entrepreneurship onto the show because we believe in supporting Black business. So if you want to be a part of the show, send us an email to Straight Talk with Dr. V and Mr. P at gmail.com. We will answer those questions and we will get back to you. So we look forward to interacting with you soon.
As always, we love you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing yourself with
Yes.
us. Thank you for our audience. Thank you again.
Thank
the
you,
people who
audience.
helping us
Yes.
put this together. We
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank you. We love you.
Round of applause, everybody.
Yes, we love you. We love you.
Straight Talk with Dr. V and Mr. P is back.
Yes.
2022. Love y'all.
2022. Love you.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye.